All right, Austin. We're live.
Amazing,
Welcome
brother.
welcome to the show. So, I didn't even tell you this before we started, but I'm doing 30 podcasts in 30 days for the
Wow.
month of December.
Okay.
But I'm pre-recording cuz I'm not going to be able to
Yeah.
do it every day. So, this is going to be a part of that series.
Sweet.
But then you told me you just started a podcast. I was like, "Wait, let's save it for
Yeah.
here." So, let's talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, I've only recorded a couple so far. Um, I started an Instagram documenting my faith journey in Christ, and the podcast is basically centered around religion and, Christianity and philosophy, things like that. And so I've recorded a couple with a couple close friends of mine that have crazy stories. It's crazy.
Can you say who or you want to save it for
I mean, yeah, I mean they're good friends of mine. One his name's Josh Terranova and one's Mike White. No one would know who they are. They're some
but
real
they got
estate
some
friends
good
of mine.
stories?
Yeah. And um yeah, I'm really excited for that cuz just doing my best to spread some understanding and knowledge of um, the Bible through their stories because they're Christians as well. So yeah, I'm excited for.
Yeah.
I kind of want same with you. I kind of want to stack a few first, and I wanted to start posting on Instagram a couple weeks before. Um,
It's a weird game, like putting out content and doing stuff. And I've never done something like this. That's cool though. I didn't even know you were starting a podcast
yeah,
when
I
I asked
haven't
you to do
told
this.
really anyone.
But it's yeah, it's interesting. All the like, do I post on these platforms? How should I make it? I mean, there's a lot that goes into it and a lot to think about. So it is interesting.
Yeah,
Um, what's your podcast going to be called?
I don't know yet. That's
Okay,
the thing.
because your
There's
Instagram is Austin Discipled.
yes, yeah. I don't know. Part of me wants to make it a verse. I have a verse that sticks out specifically that is kind of what the podcast is based around. It's a verse in First Timothy, but I don't know. It doesn't really have like a ring to it exactly. It doesn't exactly roll off
What
the
is it?
tongue. First Timothy 15. But it's like I'm not gonna have First Timothy 15 podcast. It's kind of a mouthful.
Mm.
So I don't know. I'm not sure yet. If you
And
have any
you,
ideas.
yeah, I feel like you don't want to abbreviate Bible verses either. You can't be
Yeah,
like
no.
1 Tim 1
Yeah,
5.
no. No.
Well, I want to go back to this, but I offered Austin coffee right before we started, and you said you've never had coffee in your entire life.
Never.
How?
I don't know. Um, I've never really had caffeine. Like I've never really had an energy drink either. I mean, I think
Dude, that's
maybe
wild.
one time or a couple times, like if we were going out, Asher would like convince me to have a
Like a pre-workout scoop or
no,
something?
yeah, not a pre-workout, but there's energy drink packets.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't remember what they're called.
I feel like there's different ones. Like
There's
there's
a
the Mio Energy, and then there's like
yeah,
the.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I've never had coffee. I've never really wanted to because I don't
It's
want.
not a bad thing.
Yeah,
You have enough energy
yeah,
from what, at least when we're around each other.
yeah. I kind of always have had the mindset with not just caffeine, but really anything. I just don't want to be or feel dependent on anything. I want to be able to do what I want to do, and
You don't want to have a day where you don't have access to caffeine and you're like, wow, I feel terrible. Like I
exactly.
can't function. I get that. I've been drinking more caffeine than I've probably ever drank in my life
Really,
lately. Not that it's a good thing, but I don't know why I've just been loving coffee lately.
dude. I know it's like for some people it's a full on hobby.
Mm. No, you can go. It's crazy how many worlds you can go deep into. But yeah, coffee people go deep, and those like different machines and grounds,
Yeah,
and where you get your coffee beans, and
yeah.
then how you make it, and yeah, there's a whole world of coffee out
Like
there.
just give me a water, bro.
I'm not picky though. Like I'll drink
Yeah.
a black McDonald's. I only drink black coffee. Well, I won't say only, but that's my preference. Um, and honestly, I'm not sophisticated enough to tell the
Yeah.
difference.
No, I
I
really.
honestly just like I actually like the taste of black coffee, and then obviously the boost it gives.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of with you. There was a day this week I didn't have any coffee in the morning, and I felt a little tired throughout the
Really?
day. I was like, this isn't good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, same thing with a lot of things, but I just drink a lot of water because I work out pretty consistently and I take creatine. And with that, you have to be drinking a lot of water. But even when I'm not on creatine, I still drink a lot of water. That's pretty much the only thing I drink alongside. I like
What a
lemonade.
good habit.
I guess so. I don't know. To me, it's not even a
I drink
habit.
a lot of water. Yeah, that's good. It's yeah.
Yeah, it keeps you hydrated. So, especially if you're hitting like sauna, steam room, you have
Mhm.
to. So,
What's the workout routine been looking like?
I do. Well, I go to downtown Y, which is, dude. Have you been?
No.
It's
I
awesome.
really?
Yes,
Oh wow.
it's pretty
I know where it
much.
is.
It's pretty much all brand new, and I live on the same street, so I just walk down the street. It's like a
Oh,
four or
being
five
able
minute
to
walk.
walk to a gym, yeah.
Yeah,
Get like a little walk in,
it's
but it's just
perfect.
so much less effort than getting
Yeah,
in your car
it's
and
so nice. Like at that point, you really have no excuses to
mhm.
not go. But dude, it's really nice. It's pretty much all brand new. The downtown Y, it's been around for a couple years, but for the majority of that time, it's only been this big, kind of dingy weight room while they were doing all these renovations. But now everything's brand new. It's 6 stories.
It's 6 stories.
Yeah, so on the bottom floor is full pool,
Oh yeah.
sauna, steam room, and then
Wow, in a Y.
oh,
That sounds
dude, yeah.
like Lifetime,
Yeah, it's pretty
Like
much a
that those
lifetime
level
without
amenities. The price.
yeah, and like I think they have a cafe or something there that's
Yeah.
probably $20 for a bagel. But
50 for a smoothie.
exactly. But yeah, dude, they've got all of that and then massive main weight room floor. There's 3 weight room floors. Like there's
So
unlimited
level two,
weights.
three, four
Yeah.
is all just weight room.
Weights, they've got indoor turf with sleds, every cardio, everything you can imagine. So it doesn't even matter what time of day you go, whether it's crowded, there's always space.
That's what I was about to ask, because that like T-Rec, I'm sure you would go in Knoxville, and there was some times you just couldn't go.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't get any machine, and it was terrible. So having that space, that's huge.
Yeah, it's
What a good setup. You
massive.
can walk there,
Yeah.
brand new, tons of
Yeah.
space.
And then the 5th floor is they got basketball courts. They also have pickleball nets for that. And then the 6th floor is a massive rooftop turf that overlooks the city.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
pretty sick.
Well, what do you normally hit when you work out? Like, do you have a weekly?
Yeah, so I do a 4-day split. I do back buys, chest tries, legs, and shoulders.
We getting some cardio in there?
Not as much as I have been earlier this year. I took a pretty decent break from lifting this year and I started running a bit more. And now, because I recently got the membership at the Downtown Y about a month ago. So since I've gotten that, it's kind of flip flopped and
Mhm.
I've pretty much just been weightlifting instead of doing cardio now. But I do like running. But now it's about to be brick cold outside.
Yeah, and it's not as fun running on a
Yeah.
treadmill.
No.
I'm weird in that I definitely prefer cardio to weightlifting, which I think is not most people.
Yeah. Running?
Running specifically, yeah. I no, I love just hitting a good run. Like I feel so good after.
Yeah.
I love when I can barely breathe, or like I'll go
Yeah.
on Sundays. Normally, I'll run about 7 or 8 miles, which is
Yeah. I did
nice.
I did a run club a couple times.
I've never tried that, but it seems like a good
Yeah.
like social
It's a
thing.
cool because for me and I think for everyone else that runs, you run quicker and you have a better time when you're running with other people.
See, I'm also weird and I like running alone.
I do too. Same thing.
But I like working out alone too.
I do too.
And I'm very social and extroverted generally, but for some reason when it comes to that stuff, I like just being by myself
Yeah.
and doing what I want to do.
I like working out. I like lifting when I'm alone.
Mm-hmm.
But the run club, no one's really, when we're running at least, no one's really talking. Like everyone's got
Kinda
their
locked
earbuds
in. Yeah.
But for me at least, I'm pretty competitive. So even though it's a casual
do
thing,
feel
I
that,
want to
yeah.
beat everyone. So
Yeah, so it's a little extra
I'm
push.
running faster than I would if I was just running by myself.
That makes sense. I mean, I've done a few races and it's the same. Like
Yeah.
I did the rock and roll half marathon and like Blair, Chuck, some other guys were running it, Brock. I was like, I'm going to beat everybody. And
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I was like, I just got it in my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know I'm going to beat all my friends. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, I'm the same way when it comes to stuff like that. And the other good thing about the run club was that they have a pacer, because whenever I'm running alone,
Mm.
it's kind of difficult for me to tell if I'm
Do you track it with
running.
anything? Like
I mean, I
a
have Strava downloaded, but I don't have a
Yeah, that's
watch or
difficult.
anything.
So I use my Apple Watch. It's really easy to just glance and keep pace, but without it, I don't know what I do. Like I'd
Yeah,
just be guessing.
because when I run by myself, I'm just all over the
Hmm.
place. But it's nice, like they have the pacer there, and then the last mile, they're like, all right, you can go ahead of the pacer, and then that's when I just take off and try to beat everyone. I just sprint that last mile. But
Then you
I
feel
haven't done
so
it.
good after. You're like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
nice.
baby,
It's
I did
nice.
it.
It's a good sweat. It's a good time. And I can't, dude. The other thing is, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to run again when it's cold out, because this will probably change when it gets cold. But pretty much whenever I run, I cannot run with a shirt on.
Mm.
I,
Why is that?
I don't know,
You just
dude.
feel like you can't. You're
I
like
feel so
you're
restricted.
constricted. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
It's
get
like I don't like,
claustrophobic in there.
yeah, exactly. I don't like it.
There is something freeing about running with a shirt off, I will say.
It's so much better.
Yeah,
But I'm not doing that if it's gonna be 30 degrees.
yeah,
Unless I
that's
just want
fair.
to Goggins it. So
Yeah, but then you got to go like 50 miles.
yeah, nah. My buddy, he just did a like a 50-mile
Oh my god.
run, or like trail run through mountains in Utah.
I bet that was so cool though. That's one thing I want to do, but I mean, maybe there are some trails in Nashville like that, but I think trail runs would be really I
Yeah.
think that'd be something I would really enjoy. I just haven't done
Yeah, I
that.
don't know where that would be either, to be honest with you.
I mean, there's those steps in Belle Meade that kind of have some trails, but
Yeah, I feel like you got to go to like to an actual
Utah,
national park or
yeah, or
something
like
for that.
California, like
Yeah,
by the
like
coast.
redwoods, or dude, I would go down the redwoods or something, or like
Hmm.
Yosemite. That'd be cool.
Well, let's go back. I want to dive into the disciple stuff too, but I feel like you've done some random stuff too. Like you did food reviews, you
Oh
did real
yeah,
estate stuff.
yeah,
Now we're doing the disciple stuff, but let's go chronologically.
yeah.
Like it's I don't know. I mean, this has been new for me and it's I don't know if you felt the same way. It's weird posting content and talking about stuff. So what was kind of the first, I guess, project you did? Was it the food review stuff or was it something before that?
Well, so my full-time job, like I work in real estate. I dropped out. I went to UT, obviously, but I dropped out after my junior year to move back here to start an investment in real estate.
And you're still doing that.
Yeah, that's what I'm still
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
So I do flips, new
How's that
construction,
going?
good and bad. It's great, but it's also it's such a pain, dude.
Mm.
It's a lot. I'll just put it that way.
I'm sure it sounds like a lot to me, and I'm sure it's 10 times what I'm even thinking.
It's a lot. It's because I mean, obviously, you see maybe things on TV or on social media, people doing real estate, but it's like, dude, behind the scenes,
Well, I mean,
it's absurd.
even as someone not in that field at all, I can already imagine even just the random policies and laws and regulations, let alone coordinating with different contractors and
Yeah,
trying to make things work. And yeah, that's a lot of moving parts to,
an infinite amount of moving parts to where like you have to line an infinite amount of things
hmm.
up to make a deal work, but at the same
And then it
time,
still might not work.
one tiny small thing can blow all of that
Mm.
up and make it not work. You lose money and just wasted, months of time. So it's a lot.
Yeah, yeah, that's just like a high risk,
It's
high
very high
reward,
risk. Very high
but
risk.
I guess you're built for
I
it.
am very, at this point, I've taken so many risks. It's pretty much normal to me. I don't really
What
get,
got you started in the real estate?
yeah. So the summer after my sophomore year at UT, I was majoring in econ, which is a complete scam, by the way.
Story for another time.
Yeah, it's nothing. And I knew I wanted to do something in business. I just didn't exactly know what. And so for a class, my sophomore year, I interviewed this financial advisor here in Nashville. And at the end of it, I asked, hey, do you know of anyone that, wants some intern help or something over the summer?
Hmm.
And I didn't know anything about real estate, but I knew you can make good money in it.
You had an opportunity, like
And
check it out.
so he put me in contact with a couple people, and then long story short, that summer, I did 2 internships that summer. One for a retail team out of Keller Williams, and one with a small team of investors. And I just fell in love with the investing side of things to where I went back my junior year to UT, and I hated school more than I ever had before. Because I was like, I don't want to do
Oh,
this.
interesting. Yeah.
I don't need the degree to do it. I just want to go back
It was
and do
just
this thing.
draining. Like it felt like it was just taken away from
Yeah, I
what you
was like,
actually
this is
want to
just
do.
wasting time. I want to get started now.
Yeah.
And at the end of my
2 years is a long time to,
yeah,
to be sitting in school versus actually getting started doing something.
exactly. And after my junior year, I'll never forget it. It was May, and the guy I interned for the summer prior, we had kept in contact, and he texted me. I still have the text. I could send it to you if you want to put it on the screen. I don't
What
know
he
if
say?
anyone's that. He was like, "Hey, you should drop out and do acquisitions for us." And he was like, "I'm 70% serious." And I was like,
70% is a funny
"Yeah,
number.
I know." And I was like, "Yeah, let's hop on the call." And I was sitting in the parking lot
Wow,
at
you've
Gold's
done
Gym.
3 years at this point.
Yeah.
So you're not, it's not like you're dropping out after freshman year. This is like, I'm almost done.
Yeah, I've got 1 year left. Yeah. And I talked to him in the Gold's Gym parking lot in Knoxville. And yeah, he kind of walked me through it, and it was at this point, it was the best decision I ever made, but in the moment, it was such a hard decision to make.
Well, it's terrifying. I mean, I think you also, I'm sure you thought about like, what are my parents going to think? What are my friends going to think? Like, I'm this close to finishing college, and now I'm just
Yeah.
taking a risk doing this
Yeah.
high risk acquisitions role. And then even for yourself, you're probably like, does this make sense? Like,
Yeah.
am I being an idiot trying to do this?
Yeah. Pretty much everything you just said. I mean, my dad, he's more business minded, so he thought it was a cool opportunity. He just wanted to make sure you're, actually getting paid and you're not going to live on the street. Mom, not so much.
Mm.
And then, yeah, I mean, that senior year,
What swung that decision to say yes?
I think I always knew I was going to say yes. It was just
There was
going
all that other
through-
stuff. That
Yeah,
noise.
because I mean, I've got 1 more year left, and it's like, I mean, you got 1 more year left. Get the degree, and then I already had
then
my
you
whole
could do this if it doesn't work out.
Yeah. all the yeah, and I already had all of my my living situation figured out for senior year with a bunch of good friends of mine, and we were living right next door to Asher and all of them. So I'm like,
yeah.
all my friends I'm gonna be living with the next year. And
Senior year, it's
senior
a good
year,
time.
my girlfriend at the time was living there, and I was like, "There's no way."
Oh,
I was
wow.
thinking of doing this, and then
That's a lot of reasons to not do it.
yeah, yeah, and it's funny because that whole junior year, I wanted nothing more than to do it, but then when the opportunity was right in front of me, it was so daunting. It was almost like God was like, "All right, how bad do you really want to do this?"
Well, I think it's also right. There's a big difference between ideas and thoughts, and then when you're actually faced with something.
Yeah.
Like, how many people think, "Oh, it'd be so cool to start a podcast," but then you actually got to do it. And a podcast isn't even that complicated or as big of a decision as dropping out of school and taking a job is, but it's still a barrier and a lot of stuff you got to figure out. So when you're actually faced with it, I think it's a much different feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of my, I'm not going to say pet peeves because I understand that everyone's different. I can't ever expect everyone to think the same as I do. But when people say they want to do something and they do nothing about it, pisses me off.
Yes.
Like, why are you even talking? Like, what are we even talking about? So
That happens a lot.
all the time.
I mean, I'm sure I'm guilty of it at times too, but I like to think that I generally, like, I think the best slogan ever, hands down, is Nike. Like, just do it. It's so simple. It's so true. I think a lot of times we're like, oh no, once I graduate or once I have this money or once I have, like, if you're not going to do something now, you're just not going to do
Yeah.
it.
I always say just figure it out. Like,
And you will.
you have, when you put yourself in a position, like when I put myself in that position, mind you, I dropped out with no real estate knowledge. Like, I don't even know what a title company did. And I had a negative balance in my bank account. And so when you put yourself in that position, you force
Dude.
yourself to figure it out. Like, I don't know how I'm going to figure it out, but
You don't
I
have,
have no
what's
other
the
option
alternative
to make
Yeah.
this work. And
Well, that's what
there's
my
a lot.
dad always says this saying. It's good too. He says necessity breeds competence. That is true. Like I mean, I work as an investigator for child protective services, and there's some days where like there's just so much going on, and we figure it out. Like it's amazing when you
Yeah.
have to figure something out.
Yeah,
You figure it out.
I know. When your back's up against the wall and you don't give yourself a plan B, that's the main thing in my eyes. Like if you give yourself a plan B, you're already screwed.
Mm.
Because once plan A doesn't go exactly how you thought it would, it's so much easier to be like, oh, well, I still have this other thing here in my back pocket that I can fall back on. And then you're toast. Then you're never going to go after what you really want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so when you did make this decision, how did your parents, your friends, your girlfriend at the time, how did everyone react?
Yeah, my parents, my dad, again, he was more cool with it, but my mom, she's so
She's like, you're gonna end up a crackhead on the street.
she's so traditionally minded in the
Mhm.
fact that it's ingrained in her mind that what you do is you go to college, you get the degree, you get the safe job, like that's what you do. And it's so ingrained in her, even honestly today, that when I brought it up to her, she was just beside herself.
Was she like, you're kidding, right? Like,
Yeah, she was like, you want to be the person that like dropped out of school, and I was like,
yeah.
yeah. Because when you are an entrepreneur, like when you're in this world, like dropping out of college is like honestly a badge of honor. It's like that shows that you're serious
You
about it,
care
how
enough
bad you
about
actually want to
something.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I've never thought about it like that. A badge of honor. Yeah.
So I've always
Because
been
you hear stories of that
very
all the
proud of
time.
it.
These people who are very
Yeah.
successful, and because it is such a hard decision. And you're saying, basically what you're saying is my time is more valuable elsewhere other than sitting in a college classroom.
Yeah.
Even when you have all these expectations to finish. So that the badge of honor, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a cool way to frame it.
Yeah, especially like when I'm surrounded by all these other, I have so many investor and real estate entrepreneur friends, and so many of them
But all your
don't have
friends at
college
the
degrees.
time in Knoxville, right? I mean, me, myself included, we're on this, well, we're getting our degree, then we get
Yeah.
a job. So it wasn't until you did this internship that you even probably saw that
Right.
was an alternative.
Yeah.
Oh, that's, wow. So what did friends, girlfriend at the time?
Friends didn't really say much. I mean, guys are guys. Like we don't.
Yeah,
Like, we don't
true.
care that. I mean, we
Like,
care,
dude,
but
get after it.
like we'll see you. Like, because my girlfriend at the time was still living in Knoxville, so it's like I was still visiting,
hmm
so I still saw them.
Yeah, and you came to Nashville, so it's not like you're,
It's only 3
flying to
hours.
Hawaii to.
Yeah. And then girlfriend at the time, she was actually very supportive of it.
That's good.
Which was nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just kind of dove into it and didn't think about it too much, because I found
Perhaps was the best thing.
if I think about it too much, I think this goes for a lot of people. If you sit and you think about it too much, you're going to psych yourself out. You're going to think of a million reasons not to do it. So I didn't think about it too much. I just did it. I'm just putting one foot in front of the other.
I
figuring it out
100%
on the
feel
way.
that.
Yeah.
Because even to go back, I mean, the podcast analogy just feels simple, but you could go so deep into the microphone, the camera, the setup, like if you have a script, what you're going to talk about, all this stuff. And you could spend hours and days and years thinking about how to do it, when really the best way to get experience is just to do it. Like you got to start talking in front of a microphone. One step,
It's progress over perfection.
Yeah.
And that goes with everything.
Yeah.
So many people, especially in real estate, like looking for, or before they're getting started, we call it analysis paralysis,
Mm.
where they're just
It's got a good ring to
too
it.
busy analyzing, like, watching all the podcasts and reading all the books, and it's like you're doing everything but the thing.
I definitely fall into that trap. You know, you'll read like a self-help book or you'll see a YouTube video, and I'm like, I've spent an hour just either watching, listening, or reading about what to do, and I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's,
Yeah.
I feel like people fall into that.
All
At
the
least
time.
I know I
It's
do.
a trap. I mean, you spend more time thinking about doing the thing than actually
Yeah.
doing the thing. Alex Hormozy talks about this a lot, if you're familiar with him.
Yeah, yeah.
He's the best. But yeah, people, and I see it all the time.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if you met my buddy AJ, but he also does entrepreneurial. I can't even say that word. Entrepreneurial stuff, and he does videography. But he's a big fan of Alex and his
Hormozy is
stuff.
the best.
I think he's like a VIP or whatever. Like he got all the content and stuff, and he
Oh,
said he's
really?
been following that script, and it's helped him a ton.
Yeah, he's great to listen to, and a lot of guys, those things are helpful to listen to, but to an extent, because if you're just not doing the thing, you're doing everything but doing the thing.
Yeah, it's almost a
pointless.
form of procrastinating. And I think what's even worse about it is it feels productive.
I was just about to say that.
Because you feel like you're learning but you're not doing anything.
Nothing. And the best teacher is experience. And when you don't have any experience, you're not gonna learn. You can only learn so much from books and podcasts, right? And then once you start doing it yourself and you start getting your teeth kicked in and falling on your face, that's when your learning goes way up, because you actually have risk on the line and all the other things.
Well, and there's just stuff you can't recreate just hearing about.
Yeah.
Like there's and like we were saying, there's so many different moving parts when it comes to real estate. I mean, there's stuff you could hear about, but you don't actually understand it until you're faced with it. And it's the same with, I mean, my role investigating child abuse. Like it's a pretty long training program, and they teach you all this stuff. But then you got a mom yelling at you, telling you to go F yourself, get the F out of my house, don't you take my effing kid. That's a much different experience than in a training room, than telling you, remain calm, use these questions. Like, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
Actually experiencing it.
I've heard the same thing from people that are ex-military. They go through all that training, but nothing's like it when you're actually
and they go
firefight, and
they perhaps do the most training out of anybody to try to recreate it, and even then it's not the same.
Yeah.
I mean, they get the military. So I'm doing a master's program too, understanding complex systems. It's a cool program, and there's some military people in it, but they've got really advanced, like they have simulators for pilots now that actually like spin you and move you around. Yeah, because that's the best tool they have. Because most times, most militaries are not in active combat, so a lot of time is just spent preparing to be. But then who knows when you actually get there?
Yeah. Do you know Sean Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
He's sick. I like him a lot. But I saw him talk about it. He's like, you're training for so long, and sometimes you barely see any action. And his one complaint of
It's like Jarhead too.
Yeah.
You seen that movie?
Jarhead.
It's with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay, no, I thought you said something else.
It's or Jarhead's like a slang for Marines, but basically in the movie they go to war, and then I mean I'll just spoil it. It's not gonna be a huge spoiler, but throughout the movie like stuff happens, but nothing actually happens. Like they don't shoot a single person, and at the end he's like, I didn't fire my gun once. I've been in this desert for months, away from home, family, and he's like, we didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's kind of what I feel like Sean was talking about, because even in the SEAL teams, he was like, my one complaint is there wasn't enough action, because they spent all this time doing training over and over and over again. And then when you're actually out there, there's not as much to do. I guess more when there would have been more when he was in it, because that was an active wartime. But nowadays, I mean.
But even then, I mean, minus Jarhead, most movies and TV shows of military guys, they're 24/7 doing missions and going. That's really not the reality.
Yeah.
But there was a saying we also talked about in my master's program. It was, no plan survives the enemy, is a military saying, which just speaks to that. They're like, doesn't matter how much you plan, it's too complex. Once you're actually in that situation and faced with it, like things are going to change.
Yeah. Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That vibe. And there was another interesting acronym during the Vietnam War. It was SNAFU, and soldiers would say that. People would be like, "How you doing?" SNAFU, situation normal, always fucked up, which basically just means like everything's a mess always. We're just
Yeah.
making it work.
Yeah. It's, I mean, it applies to, like, full circle. It applies to everything we do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think, like, you want to make a business plan and you think, oh, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z and by month 3, and then that's going to lead to this happening in Q2. And then that's not how it ends up going at all.
SNAFU.
Yeah. You get punched in the face.
So what exactly, I know you got brought in as acquisitions, as you were saying. What is your role right now? Or like, what is, like, what's your job look like?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
So I did that acquisitions job for about a year and a half. And that was really just me building a massive foundation of knowledge for me. And then eventually I left that job to start doing flips. And
And that's even riskier, right?
yeah.
That's like on a chart of risky real
Yeah.
estate. That's
So in real estate investing, people typically start off by, it's called wholesaling. I don't know how familiar you are with this stuff, but
I got a few friends that dabble in it and
yeah,
will tell me about it. But
so kind of start off wholesaling, and then people usually go from that to flipping, and flipping to new construction, or, you know, multifamily, or building out a rental portfolio, whatever they want to do. Yeah, I was acquisitions manager for a wholesale team. So we were wholesaling deals, and then I left that after a year and a half and started doing flips, which is more risk, a lot more, because you're signing on loans, you're raising money, it's all that.
And like
kind
you're
of stuff.
saying, one part goes wrong, that's someone's got to pay that loan back.
Yes, they do.
Doesn't just
Yeah.
make it disappear.
Yeah. So I've done a few flips at this point, and now I'm starting to get into new construction.
Okay.
Yeah, so just tore down the other week. Me and a couple of buddies are partnering on a deal together, which is great. And tore down a house, and now we're building 2 new ones in Green Hills. So that'll be done next year. So really just trying to
See,
lean more
that's
into
what's
new
crazy
construction.
too. Is like it won't be done for a year. You have all this money tied up.
Yes.
You have all this stuff to do, and you don't see any reward if you get any.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's kind of transitions to my next point, which is with these deals, it can take a really long time to get paid out on. So you're going, a fair amount without having anything coming in. So recently I started doing acquisitions again for the same buddy of mine, just to have some, money coming in while those deals are taking forever. But yeah, man, I really just want to start leaning more into new construction. That's what I've wanted to always do since I dropped out.
So that would be your long-term vision, is new construction. Would you ever get into the like multifamily homes or apartments, stuff like that?
To be honest. I haven't given it too much thought. I have some buddies that are in multifamily, but I've always kind of just stuck with single family. That's kind of everything I've known and learned about. And within the umbrella of real estate, you kind of just want to pick one avenue.
Yeah, you don't want to spread yourself.
Go all in on one thing. It's like you'll see some people, oh, I'm going to start wholesaling. Oh, I'm going to start Airbnb arbitrage. Oh, I'm going to start Amazon drop shipping. It's like, bro, just pick one.
Like you can't be doing everything.
No, you're going to fail. If you try to do everything, you're going to fail at all of them. You need to pick one thing and go all in on that one thing and see it out. Because it takes a while for you to actually see the fruit of that endeavor you're going in. Usually takes, probably 90 days.
Yeah.
So pick one thing and go all in on that. So no, I haven't dabbled too much in multifamily, but I know a good amount of people in it to where if I wanted to, I could learn more about it easily.
Yeah, yeah. So the people you're doing this investment in, is it split evenly between all you guys?
Yeah, good question. So let's see. So we bought the land, we tore the house down, and we are partnering with a builder. So the builder,
speaking of more moving parts,
you don't even know. um, so the builder, he's building. Let me back up. Because he's a builder and he has a lot of experience, he's able to get a construction loan for us with favorable terms, like better
Which I'm assuming
interest rate
is huge
and everything
for what you're going
yeah,
for.
so we're able to get better terms because we're basically hijacking his experience and using it for our own. So he's
So
signing on the
he's
loan.
trusting you enough to do this, which is that's a good sign.
Well, he thinks the deal is good enough for him to sign on the loan
Yeah.
and have equitable interest in. So he's signing on the loan and he's building both houses at cost. So he's not charging a fee on top of it. Instead of that, he has equity in the deal. So he's making.
So that's cool because he's also like genuinely invested.
Exactly.
He's not just getting
because
so he's motivated to make this work.
So when you just hire a GC, a general contractor,
they get their money, they
invested.
GTFO.
Yeah, they don't have their name on the line. They're not on the loan. They don't have equitable interest. They don't care how long the project takes. They do because, in some sense, because of their reputation and credibility. But
and they want to get paid.
Yeah, and they want to get paid, but not to the extent of someone whose name is on the line. So he signs on the loan with us and is doing the build at cost. So he'll get 50% of the equity. And then me and my buddies, we raised all of the money for the deal. So we split the other 50% amongst ourselves. And this deal in particular, the spread on it is so massive that it doesn't even matter that there's multiple of us that have equity in it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I was curious because it's just interesting and like part of your job, and I mean most jobs, perhaps every job, is relationships and trusting people. And I don't know if that's just like an interesting dynamic, how that works. And then the builder, he has 50%, so he's probably got more say on some stuff. Or
yeah,
I don't know. I was just thinking that might be interesting, the relationship dynamics there.
Yeah, he I mean he already has all of his subcontractors, so it's really nice. And he's also very experienced, has done a ton of builds before, so we know him. You know, it's not like some guy we found on Facebook, which some people do, which I would not recommend. I also wouldn't recommend finding your agent on Zillow, but some people.
What would you recommend if you're well, I don't know. I guess it would depend what your goal is.
Yeah. I hate using the answer "it depends," but it really is the answer on almost every question.
What if you were just looking to buy a house? What would you recommend that you think are some common, I guess, pitfalls people fall into?
That's a good question. Honestly, I'm not even sure I'm the best person to ask for that because I'm not dealing with retail buyers.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with investors.
World. Yeah.
Like I know what an investor should look for when buying a deal, but when it comes to a family, or like if you and AK want to eventually buy a house, I don't know. I can recommend you to people.
Yeah.
I know a ton of people, but
well, one, I gotta respect that it depends, and two, I don't know. Yeah. I'd rather you not just be like, well, you got to do this or this.
That's a big pet peeve
just
of mine
have
too.
No idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's an issue when people do that.
Well, let's go back. Okay, so when you started posting stuff outside of like normal, social media, I'm Austin Post. Did you do real estate first? And then what was that like?
To be honest, not really. I always kind of wanted to. Here's the thing with real estate content, man. It's all BS. It's all regurgitated.
I see some of the most insane clips of real estate where it'll be like a drone shot, then like these big bold letters. You know what I'm talking about?
It's all the same. It's all regurgitated. There's no value add. There's
why do
nothing.
People do it?
I don't know, man. I mean, I see the amount of agents I see. They're like touring this really nice house, showing off. Oh, this is what $10 million can get you in Nashville, and it's not even their listing. It's not even their house. It's someone else, some other agents. It's all Fugazi.
It's a Fugazi.
It's a Fugazi. It's
fairy
a Fugazi. It's Wolf of Wall Street.
It's one of the best, scenes there is.
Yeah. But there's no really real estate content because I know a lot of people that make it, and it's just kind of all the same. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't do it. So I never really started posting real estate content. It was more
Just updates. Like,
Yeah, like, hey, I just sold my first deal.
yeah.
This is my other deal I just sold. Because yeah, the content stuff, I can't. It makes me
And it
want
doesn't
to
add that
throw
much
up.
value.
No, it provides nothing.
It wouldn't be worth your time.
No, no, it doesn't provide any value to me. It doesn't provide any value, to be honest, to other people. Because it's like, why? I mean, you can just go watch so many other people that are. It's like these investors here in Nashville. They're making content. It's like,
Do you think
why?
they're just making money from the content?
No.
Is why they're doing it?
No, I don't think they're making money on it.
Why are they doing it?
The reason they're doing it is the same reason why I would do it. Is it's important to, because real estate, it's all about networking and relationships and building and meeting new people. And when you're posting content, you're signaling to everyone else that, hey, I'm actively doing deals. So it's a way of marketing, kind of. It's like, hey, bring me deals. I'm raising money for this deal. Bring me money for this deal. So it's more of a way to bring business rather
That
than
makes
it
sense.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the, like, if I were to do real estate content, which I probably won't, the only reason to do it would for me to be able to raise more money.
So okay, I got that wrong. You would just post updates. I'd be like, oh yeah. But you
Yeah.
did do a food review.
I did do food reviews. Yeah, man. I don't even know where that came from. It was almost a year ago.
Yeah.
It was last
I love that.
December.
Those would crack me up.
Dude, and I was doing those, and then eventually it got to the point where I was like, I don't feel like recording a
While I'm
2-minute
eating
video
right now,
before I
yeah.
eat. I just want to eat
I want to enjoy it.
Yeah. And it got to be a pain. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were, I don't even know. That was just kind of like a random fun
Experiment.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I love food. So
who doesn't? I feel like you're
Yeah.
weird if you don't like food.
You kind of have to live.
Yeah.
Firstly.
But I guess some people are pretty picky.
You know what's funny is I am actually pretty picky.
Really?
Yeah.
What's on your like I will not eat?
My no-fly list?
Your no-fly list.
I'm a big look, texture, and smell guy.
So it's like fish off the table?
I don't eat seafood.
No seafood. Okay.
I don't eat seafood.
That's fair.
Well, both my
some people are like
parents
that.
are allergic to shellfish, so I've always kind of stayed away from it. So now I don't even eat any kind of seafood.
So no seafood.
No seafood, like chili, soup. I'm not eating any of that.
I think chili's overrated.
It's a texture thing. It looks disgusting to me, and I'm not eating
It does
it.
look a little like throw up.
It does.
Exactly. I see where you're.
And when I say that to people, they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, you're crazy for thinking it doesn't look like yak. So if it has a weird texture like beans, I don't eat beans. I don't eat beans.
Even if it's like in a burrito or something.
No.
Just
No. Even if it's mixed in with stuff, I'm not eating that. It looks like rabbit poop. So I really like my favorite is barbecue. I love barbecue. I love
when you say barbecue, like ribs, pork, like that.
Yeah,
vibe.
ribs, pulled pork, brisket.
This is a pet peeve of mine, but I don't know why my mom calls barbecue like anything grilled.
Yes.
Like, we'll grill like chicken breast.
Yes.
She's like, we're barbecuing.
Yes.
I'm like, that's not a barbecue.
I know. I think it's a foreign thing.
Or maybe it's a southern.
I see that in other countries, like oh,
like
the barbecue, and we're having hot dogs and hamburgers.
Yeah, I'm like,
that's not barbecue, brother.
Barbecue to me is like we're saying ribs, pulled pork,
Yeah.
brisket. I mean, there's I guess like smoked turkey I'd throw in there, but
yeah, who's getting turkey though?
yeah,
Give me the.
I
pulled
love
pork.
a good brisket.
Yeah, brisket. Give me the grits casserole, the banana pudding, the mac and cheese.
Dude, a good grits casserole.
Oh my gosh, have you had Edley's?
Yes,
It's
their
my
wings.
favorite.
Their wings
Oh
are
my-
insane
yes, they are,
too.
dude.
I think best wings I've had.
Edley's, because I have a. I don't know where I put it. I
No,
misplaced
at least it's
it.
fantastic. There's
But I
one in
have-
Franklin now too.
Oh yeah, on Goose Creek.
No, there's one. Well, I didn't even know there was one there. There's one in the factory.
No way.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
I've never.
They
down there
redid the
before,
whole
but-
factory.
Oh really?
I work by there. That's the only reason.
Okay.
I know, but yeah.
Yeah, I had a list because I like barbecue so much of me rating barbecue places in Nashville.
And Edley's.
And Ellie's has been my favorite.
What else is up there?
There's a
So you got
place,
like Martin's.
dude. Martin's is I grew up in Spring Hill because I went to Indy, and we had a Martin's down there. And back then, I was like, Martin's is the best. And then I came here, I was like, dude, Martin's sucks.
There used to be
so
a Moe's.
dry, bro.
Yeah, there used to be a Moe's too. You know what I'm talking about? I
Mm-mm.
think it closed. There was a Moe's barbecue in Franklin. I'm trying to think what else.
There's a place in East, and it's called Toto's,
Toto's. I feel like I've heard of that.
and it's just a smoker in a parking lot. And you
That's
walk
how you
in,
know it's good.
you walk in, and it looks like a Mexican restaurant. And
It's like sombreros on
pretty
the.
much, yeah, looks like a Mexican restaurant, and dude, it's so good. It's like a hole in the wall. So that and Edley's is my favorite. I go to Edley's a lot,
No, Edley's
more
is
consistently.
fantastic.
So much that me and my parents were doing Edley's for Thanksgiving. Yeah.
I
Like
love
we-
it.
yeah.
Yeah, you should. You're like doing the catering deal or whatever.
Not
Or you guys
even.
are just gonna go eat at Edley's.
Well, we're ordering everything on Wednesday,
Mm.
and then we'll just, I guess, reheat it the next day. Because,
That's
dude,
Thanksgiving food is overrated, anyways.
thank you. It's not good.
AK is the biggest hater of Thanksgiving food. But,
I am too. I'm with her.
but turkey,
No, and
ham,
especially, I don't know if you've done this. Have you and your family gotten those like takeout prepped meals from a restaurant or a grocery store for Thanksgiving?
I don't think so.
Don't. It's
those-
It
yeah.
never works out.
Ooh,
And for me, it's literally just me and my parents, so we're super low key. We don't care to do anything really. So sometimes we'll just do that. Every time it backfires. So we're never gonna do that again. So we're just sticking to
it's a lot of casseroles. It's like
yeah. And
who's dying for green bean casserole?
not me.
Or that you ever seen that like weird jello thing people make with mint and they throw stuff in it? It's disgusting.
No. What is that?
That's a weird I don't even know what it's called. It's like a southern Thanksgiving side.
It's just not good.
Yeah.
As a whole, it's overrated. Fight me. It's
What
just
is-
not good. Thanksgiving food.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just not. I like pumpkin pie, but
Yeah. No, Thanksgiving I get it's a whole thing, but I don't know. It's weird to me that people die on the Thanksgiving food.
and Christmas is the same thing except you sub it for ham. And
Yeah.
I don't really care for ham either.
Yeah.
I'd rather
I'd
just
much
go.
rather have a steak.
Let's just go to Chick-fil-A.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Well, what's your favorite? I know you said barbecue. What else is on favorite foods?
Burgers,
Mm.
smash burger.
What's your favorite place? I love Shake Shack. I will say.
I was there last night.
You were there last night.
Shake
I was there-
Shack is so. I didn't have a. I went there for a shake after I went to Kava. Kava never
Oh.
misses.
Yeah, Kava's great.
But
Dude, Shake Shack makes a good
Shake
burger.
Shack's really good. They're the Smoke Shack,
Oh,
the one with
yeah.
the peppers on it, really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then
They have a French
Dude.
onion soup one, or at
Oh,
least
I
they
saw
did
that. I
last
haven't
month.
had
That was pretty good.
Edley's Smash Burger.
I bet it is good. I didn't even know they had
They
that.
have a Smash Burger.
Oh, I gotta try.
And
I'm
then-
trying that next time.
They have their white barbecue sauce is so good. So I dipped the burger in
It's
the
like
white
the
sauce.
the like Shack sauce equivalent.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. So they have a really good smash burger.
So Edley's is just your perfect place.
It really is, man. It really is. My
Get a sponsorship soon.
for real, I would do that 100%. My community group at church, we had our Friendsgiving last week, and we just went to Ellie's, and I just had a proper 2,000 calorie bust down, bro. Like I had everything. Their banana pudding is so good.
Dude, I might have
too.
to go to Edley's today. You got.
I know.
I'm feeling inspired.
I know. And then what other burger place do I like? Pharmacy's good. Pharmacy
Yeah,
burger.
I haven't
they're pretty
been there.
good.
I've heard it's really good. I haven't
Um,
been over there a ton in that area.
in East.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
So AK lives in Wedgwood, Houston, and then obviously I live here south of Nashville. So
yeah.
East, I know there's a ton of good spots, but like there and the Nations, I just haven't been to that much.
Yeah, in the East, there's also a place called Joyland, which I actually haven't been to, but I hear it's really good. I don't know, dude. I'm blanking on which places I like. Pharmacy's good.
Yeah.
At least it's fire. Yeah.
At least
I'll
it's
leave it
good.
at that.
And the different locations are good. I don't
W
think there's a.
locations.
Do you like hot chicken?
I think it's overrated.
I, oh, I
Well, it depends where you go.
you know,
Hattie B's is overrated.
I was about to say I know people say that. I really like Hattie B's.
Really?
I think Hattie B's is really good. I don't think it's overrated. I don't think it's underrated, obviously.
I think it's good, but I don't get. Well, actually, I do get the hype around it because it's like the Nashville hot chicken tourist thing.
Dude, but I eat there. Obviously I live here and I really like it. Their grits casserole is insane.
I don't know if I've had
Their
that.
mac and cheese is insane. And the downtown location, I think it's the newest one, is really good.
Yeah.
I know it
That's the
wouldn't
only
seem
place
like it because it's
the only
in
one I've gone to.
the one in Fifth and Broad.
Mhm.
It's really good. There's usually a huge line, but the portions are huge.
Mhm.
Like the spice is great. I think I don't know. I think it's become a common thing for people from Nashville to be like, Hattie B's is overrated. No offense.
I mean,
I think it's a really good. And it's like $13. You get 3 giant chicken tenders, 2 sides,
oh really?
sauce.
I didn't realize that.
AK and I, when we go, we'll usually split it
Oh really?
because it's like
okay.
it's a lot of food.
Well, I appreciate a good bang for my buck.
Yeah,
Edley's
it's a good.
is that way too.
Yeah,
Edley's a
yeah.
good bang
Oh
for your
yeah.
buck.
Ellie's is
But
great.
yeah, I've actually only gone to Hattie B's I think once, and I was at my buddy's. He used to live at Fifth and Broad. You know Aaron Griezmer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We were pre-gaming at his place, and when he lived at Fifth and Broad, which is right there, and I don't know if you ever got like this, but
Oh, he actually lived in those apartments. How were they?
they were nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They seem nice.
Yeah, pretty nice. And we were pre-gaming there, and over the years, like even at UT, if I'm out and I realize that I'm hungry, I can't do anything until I eat.
So like you stop whatever you're doing. Where's
So
food?
I was at that pregame and I was like, I am so hungry. I can't do anything. I'm not going out.
I'm the
until I
same
eat.
way. If I get hangry, so it'll hit me suddenly sometimes too. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is bad.
Yeah, I can't
Start freaking out.
function. I
Yeah.
lose my motor functions. I can't talk. And so I left that pregame by myself. I went down to Hattie B's and it was packed
Oh yeah.
out.
So you can do a order. You can order online and just pick it up for future
I
reference.
actually may have done that. I don't
It
remember.
saves so because that line obviously it's off of Broadway, so it's a huge line normally. But if you do the pickup, it's so much.
Now that
quicker.
you mention it, I think I actually did that. And then
You probably looked at the line.
I
and
got
were
like I got a massive table by myself, and I just sat down and went
just.
down. Yeah, and I thought it was good, but
It's good.
Prince is good.
So I've actually never had Prince's, which is
It's pretty
crazy
good.
too. I need to go. I had a coworker. She said she was gonna go with me. She's like, I got to be there your first time, and then we've been saying that for 2 years now, and it hasn't happened. But I'm gonna make Simone go with me.
You know what I've seen on social media on Instagram that isn't here, but I really want to try is Dave's Hot Chicken.
Yeah.
That place looks so good, but I've never. Have you had it?
No, I haven't. It does look like one of those places where it's just like the sauce, and it does look good. I'm sure it
looks-
is good.
Yeah,
Where that's mostly West Coast.
I think so.
Yeah, I'll check that out. Well, we could do a segment. I've done this once before with Cole when he was on here. We could do underrated, perfectly rated, overrated. We don't have to stick to food.
Oh yeah,
We could do any topic.
Yeah.
You want to start? You want me to start?
you can start.
Buc-ee's.
Perfectly rated. I am. My screensaver is Buc-ee's. You're talking to the.
No way. I don't even know.
I took that picture by myself.
That's a
That's like a
Buc-ee's sign on
National
his screensaver.
National
phone.
Geographic picture. Look at that sunset.
That's a pretty
That's
good
the most
sunset.
American picture you've ever seen.
Wow, I didn't even know you were such a Buc-ee's fan.
I
But
can't believe you just said Buc-ee's. I'm so glad you brought that up. It's so good. It's my favorite.
I think overrated.
No, dude. It's
I
so
know.
good.
I'm a hater though. When I'm on a road trip, I like to be efficient. And I think Buc-ee's is always a cluster. I walk in, I'm freaking out because there's so much going on. It's just like, and I've got food there before. Maybe I just got the wrong things, but it wasn't that good.
Well, because Buc-ee's is from Texas, and I grew up in Texas for 12 years.
Wait, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
You were born in Texas?
I was born in Tampa.
You were born in Tampa?
Yeah.
That's where my mom grew up.
And then we moved to Houston when I was like 2 or 3. I lived
And
in
you grew up.
Houston for 12 years, and then we moved here right before I started high school, 10 years ago.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
So
even
I
know that.
grew up going to Buc-ee's. Like, 'cause I grew up
That makes it's
playing.
a little nostalgic for
I grew
you.
up playing hockey my whole life, so we travel to
You grew up in
Dallas.
Texas and you were playing hockey.
Yeah, I played
I
hockey
didn't
my
even
whole
know that was a
life.
thing.
Yeah, so we'd have tournaments in Dallas, and every time we'd stop at Buc-ee's. And even
So you feel like a
now,
little kid when you
going
go.
to
Like,
Knoxville,
woo, there's a
we stop
Buc-ee's.
at
Yeah.
Crossville Buc-ee's, and yeah, man, it's awesome.
I can't believe your
Yeah,
screensaver is Buc-ee's.
yeah, you asked the wrong person on this one. The gas is cheap, and the one thing I would not recommend is the sausage on a stick. Dude, last time, listen to this, man. So, so we went, me and Jack Kiley, we went for listen. So,
Of course, you were with Kylie when you got us Buc-ee's
Listen,
sausage on a
listen.
stick.
so we go to Knoxville for the Georgia UT game, and on the way back, you know, Liv Simona.
Mm.
So we all three of us were riding back together in Jack's car, and we stop at Buc-ee's, and I like a good quality sausage on a stick. You know, I never have it, but again, a good quality one is, you know, it's pretty good every once in a while. So I thought, let me
Good
get,
treat.
yeah. So I get the sausage on a stick, and mind you, it's wrapped in a tortilla for some reason. I don't know why.
Wait, just like a flour Mexican tortilla?
Yeah, like a store-bought tortilla. This is not helping my case that it's accurately rated. But I get that sausage on a stick, and I did a food review for it, actually. I don't know if I posted it, but Liv recorded a food review of me doing it. And Joe, I can't stress this enough. The second I finished that, it wasn't like a half hour later or like further down the road trip, and they can attest to this. We get in the car, and the second we get on the highway, instantly my body's just shutting down. I completely, like, I'm sweating. I'm about to shit my pants. Like, I literally, like, I was shaking. I'm like holding on,
Sweating. You're just
sweating beads. And Jack and Liv are just like laughing their butts
you're
off
over here like,
at
guys,
me.
this isn't a joke. Like,
And I'm like, I need y'all to stop laughing because I haven't laughed as hard in a while. And it just makes me have to go even more. It's not helping. And we're, you know, after you hit that Buc-ee's on the way back to Nashville, there's really no
it's
exits
a gap. Yeah.
until Cookeville. And I'm like gripping, even in our Snapchat group chat.
You're
Yeah,
gripping,
I'm gripping
the
the thing. And in our Snapchat group chat, they made the wall. Liv took a picture of me gripping it, the
seat
the handle.
Yeah.
And they made that the wallpaper to our group chat.
Is it still there?
Yeah.
Wait, I don't have
I don't have Snapchat downloaded right now.
Oh.
I can download it right now and
no, it's okay. I don't know if it's worth seeing the picture.
No, and then she made a hype video for it anyway to 6'7", dude.
Of you just gripping this
Yeah,
thing,
I'll show
like
it to you.
shaking.
And I've never felt like that way before. Dude, my
I just
whole
can't believe
body
it was
shutting down.
It was instant.
Instantly. And I was like, Jack, and Jack's just laughing his ass off. He's not helping. And I'm like, dude, I'm like looking up.
Like
Like,
where,
what's the-
like gas
like,
station,
gas station,
restaurant,
anything. Like I like
rest stop.
a good
like side of the road at some point.
side of there. Give me a good tree. A hotel is the best place to go because they have in the lobby they have cleaner bathrooms. But anyway, there's like no hotel, and Jack just swerves into this Burger King, and I'm like waddling in there. I'm like trying to run in there. I can't even. I'm limping in there. I'm like limping, and I get in there, and luckily no one was
Dude,
in there.
that's
I
such
just
a bad
run.
feeling.
Dude. It was the worst, and it was honestly, I gotta find this, dude. It was even worse. there's Liv and I with the Bucky mascot.
Oh my god, that's
And
amazing.
honestly, we were talking about Israel on the way there. This is so out of context, but I was like, I think the Mossad poisoned my sausage on a stick and tried to poison me. I'm convinced Israel tried to kill me. But look at
They
this.
came down to the Crossville Buckies. Wait, let me show the camera. Look at this. Dude, that thing is insane. You ate that entire
Well,
thing?
no, I got 3/4 of the way, then I threw the rest out the window.
For anyone who can't watch this sausage, it really does have a whole tortilla wrapped around it. That's a big tortilla.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. He's gripping.
Yeah.
Do not get the... Dude, I remember seeing this. Do
Yeah,
not
you
get the
probably
sausage on a
did.
stick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I would not recommend that, but other than that, Bucky's is perfectly rated.
So I get some weird comments sometimes on my stuff. And for some reason, this one girl, since like episode 10 I've done of this is like episode 35 or 7 or something like that. Every time she comments, "What's your wedgie story?" I don't know why this made me think of it. This girl keeps asking me to tell a wedgie story. I'm like, I don't have a wedgie story. So do you have a wedgie story?
Like me getting a wedgie?
Yeah.
No.
Or giving someone else.
No.
Dude, I swear to God,
I don't think so.
this girl comments every time. It sounds like I'm making it up. So I think what's her name? Lena. I'm like, hey, we tried. We don't have a story.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever received or given.
No,
a wedgie.
I haven't either. But she's so persistent. Or wait, this one she just said never answering me. But she let me find.
Yeah, no wedgies, but I have almost died via Bucky's sausage on a stick.
Via Bucky's. So that's one of the best stories I've ever heard.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're entertained.
Yeah, she said she's commented on a bunch of other videos, but she said you had 3 hours and you couldn't do the wedgie.
Yeah.
Like what
no
is...
wedge for me.
I wonder if she actually listens to the videos or if she just comments it. Lena, if you're actually listening, say that you heard this part.
Yeah, this will tell.
This is a test. Yeah, Lena Lauren, no idea who this is. She keeps asking me to tell a wedgie story.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, very random. But anyways, underrated, perfectly rated, overrated. Give me a topic. Dude, sausage on a stick.
Let's see.
That thing was terrifying.
Yeah.
It's so big.
Yeah, it's massive.
You-
Disgusting.
I can't believe you picked that out.
I can't either.
Was it wrapped in aluminum foil?
Dude, it was wrapped like the Pentagon.
Okay,
Like, I couldn't even
at
get
least
into it.
at least you didn't see what it was first.
Yeah, no, I didn't see the tortilla.
Makes me feel a little better about your
Dude, the
your
amount of
decision.
plastic wrap they put on that, I couldn't get it. I couldn't even open it. I had to get Liv to do it with her fingernails. Let's see.
You had 2 hands on the handle.
Yeah, dude, it was bad. Full body breakdown. Anyways, let's do the NFL.
Just in general? Ooh. It's an interesting... I want to say... Oh, I feel like I used to watch the NFL more. I almost want to say in between perfectly rated and overrated, whereas I think it used to be more perfectly rated. But I don't know if it's because like the Titans obviously suck this year. I haven't been as into it. I think some of the rule changes are weird. Like the kickoff still throws me off. I don't know. I feel like I just personally haven't been as invested. So maybe I'll lean towards overrated. What do you think?
Overrated. I'm not a big fan of the NFL. I actually don't really watch it at all. The college football is just so much better.
So what about college football? What do we give that?
Perfectly rated.
I think perfectly
awesome.
rated.
Like college football is peak.
I agree.
The environment,
and it's messier, but in a good way.
Yeah, the environment, the atmosphere, the team
and
identity.
Yeah, the difference is in the NFL, like, yeah, people live in a city, but if you're rooting for a college you went to,
yeah,
like that's a whole different.
Yeah,
well, it's like your builder actually being invested in this versus just being contracted.
Exactly.
So it's you feel a lot more connected.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's nothing like an SEC, Like when we went to that Georgia game and Neyland was checkered and the Jets flew over the anthem. Like there's nothing beats that. Even as I'm a hockey guy, hockey's my thing, and nothing beats that atmosphere.
Do you watch the NHL?
Yeah.
Are you big?
Yeah.
Preds?
Lightning.
Lightning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was born in Tampa, so diehard Lightning fan.
Yeah, I've heard those games are super fun.
Yeah, really fun. Hockey's the best sport to watch in person.
It is. I know very little about it, and I'm not a big fan, but I've enjoyed myself every time I've gone to a Preds game.
Yeah, it's the best, for obviously my opinion, but yeah, Preds games are fun. You can get in the building super cheap right now because they're terrible.
Seems like all the Tennessee sports are.
Yeah, pretty much checks out across the state. Except, well, we'll see. We'll see. How about this on the perfectly or underrated? This year's Tennessee football team.
Overrated.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's
I hate to say it.
I know. It's been tough to watch some of these games.
I kind of wish that we didn't go to overtime against Georgia because that game gave us so much hope.
That was the most painful, though.
Dude,
that
it
was
happened
just
right in front of me. I saw it.
Oh, you were at the
I was
game.
at the game. Oh, I have a video of it's on
You know that kicker is a SAE?
Yeah. And Jack, I turned the camera on and Jack is just like
It was like the opposite of our senior year when we played Alabama and the kick went through and we all went crazy.
Dude,
that was the opposite.
Because I wasn't there senior
Because
year.
you dropped out.
I watched that on TV, and that was the single time I know.
I feel like you go to a lot of a game.
I highly debated whether dropping out was the right decision or not.
You saw us storm the field.
Yeah.
You're like,
I was watching it at my parents' house, and I was like,
"Oh,
God,
that's some." And my mom that's some FOMO.
Like, my mom was like, "You can drive the Knoxville there." Like,
you were debating like going right then. Like,
no, I wasn't actually going to, because by the time I got there, it'd be
I mean, dude, people were just setting stuff on fire. I've never seen anything like it. Never felt anything like it. Not to rub it in.
Yeah, I still. Yeah, I don't. It's difficult for me to think about that I wasn't there, because watching on TV, I mean, we still watch the highlights of that game. The field goal goes in, and
it was such a high scoring game too. And then we fumbled at the end. I was like, oh my God, we're gonna lose.
The fireworks go off.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's just like it was like zombies. Just girls were like falling.
Dude, they were
over
looking at flood.
Yeah, like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and our freshman year, our first game, Georgia State. We lost to Georgia State. We're the Tennessee Volunteers, SEC D1 historic football program.
Yeah.
We lost to Georgia State next week.
BYU.
Yep.
Zach Wilson.
Yep. And then our senior year, we beat Alabama. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that freshman year was tough.
I can't believe it. We lost to Georgia State.
Yeah.
How insane is that?
We were bad.
Just terrible. But we can shift gears. We can go back to. So what's the plan for Austin Discipled? We got podcast thoughts. We got some recorded.
Yeah. I think that's something I'm still kind of trying to figure out along the way. You know, like I said, I kind of always wanted to make content, doing something, but real estate is just so regurgitated that it wasn't going to be that.
I think it will be nice too to like that's your career, but then have something on the side.
Yeah.
That's a little different, but something more personal.
Yeah. And this year, I've always identified as a Christian. You know, like I grew up going to church with my parents and everything, but I didn't really know anything about it much at all, actually. But if you had asked me like throughout college if I was a Christian, I'd be like, yeah, I'm a Christian. But if you asked me anything about it, I wouldn't know anything about it.
So what, I guess what's that journey been like?
Yeah, so let's see. Over the past couple years, I've really just like steadily or gradually grown in my knowledge and understanding of Scripture and what the Bible is actually about versus because most people, they have, the Bible is very misunderstood in a lot of ways. So
why do you think that is?
People don't read it.
Yeah.
People don't
Cherry
read
pick.
it, cherry pick. They don't take into account historical context. They don't take into account how this was written to an audience of people 2,000 years
hmm
ago.
Wasn't it? It's a debate between people whether to take things literally or more metaphorically.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Where do you fall on that aisle?
It depends on what it is, right? I mean,
It depends. Is the answer that makes sense too, right?
yeah, I mean, I would say pretty much most of it's literal. Obviously, there's parables, which are basically analogies.
hmm
So obviously, those are more metaphorical, but the what you learn from the parables is still something you take literally, and something that the
Like the
lesson.
lesson is,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. Um, so yeah, all the way up to the point I was baptized in January of this year.
Oh, so you weren't baptized
No,
before?
mm-mm.
Ah, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so
What
baptized in
what got
January.
you back into faith or more into faith in the
Yeah.
first place?
Um, I think I kind of felt a little bit of an imposter syndrome almost. It was like, how can I identify as a Christian and simultaneously not be able to explain why I'm a Christian? It's
I think it's actually amazing how many people probably do fall into what you just described.
That's the majority of people, which is why it's why I'm posting in short. But I heard this this thing and it really just hit me like a rock. And I don't remember if it was Cliff Connectley or some other apologist, but he said, if I say I'm a basketball player, but I don't practice basketball, am
Mm.
I a basketball player? And the answer is obviously no. And the same thing applies. If I say I'm a Christian, but I don't practice Christianity, am I really a Christian? And
That's a really simple but powerful
yeah,
analogy
because
there.
in basketball, you have, you practice your dribbling, your shooting, your
Yeah.
passing, all of those
It'd
things.
be
And
like me saying I'm a basketball player. I haven't picked up a basketball in years. It's like,
exactly,
are
exactly.
you?
It was very eye opening because, in the same way you practice all of those things in basketball, when you have genuine faith in Christ, you would be reading scripture and spending time in prayer and solitude and serving and all of these things. And so, yeah, it was really just eye opening for me that maybe I'm not a Christian, an
Mm.
actual one. And that's when I started to take it a lot more seriously because I don't like being a hypocrite. Everyone's a hypocrite, but I don't want to purposefully be one.
When you realize you're being one, you want to correct
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And so,
Well, it is. It's. I read this book recently. It talked a lot about cognitive dissonance. Are you familiar with that
mhm,
concept? So it's hard for us as people to hold two conflicting thoughts. And a common example that gets brought up is cigarette smokers. Like on one hand, you're addicted and you like the feeling. On the other hand, you know it's bad for you and causes cancer, but since you're addicted and you like the feeling, you're going to minimize other stuff
yeah,
because if you hold those two thoughts at once, it's like physically uncomfortable
yeah,
to have these conflicting ideas in your head.
yeah,
And that's why we often try so hard and why people do seem hypocritical a lot of the time is because we try to bridge that gap because
yeah,
it sucks to feel like I'm doing this, I know it's bad, but I can't like you just have to make sense of it
yeah,
in
yeah.
your head and your brain can do a really good job of rationalizing things even when they don't make sense.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think I was baptized in January and the many months prior to that last year, I was I still had a lot of questions and objections that a lot of people have
hmm
that I didn't really have answers to.
what were those? Just some
Really
off the
common
top.
stuff like why does God allow suffering?
Mm.
Why, like, who gets into heaven? Why could a good person get into heaven? I'm sorry, why can a good person who doesn't have faith not get into heaven, but a bad person who does have faith get into heaven? Um,
I feel like we could dive deep in all of those,
I
but
could
we'll
dive
we'll
into
continue
everything,
on
dude.
the
But I started watching these guys on YouTube. They're father son. They're very well known and popular in the Christian space. Cliff and Stuart Conneckley. They go on college campuses and
I
people
feel
ask
like
them
I've even
questions.
heard those names. Yeah.
And Cliff did such a good job at like answering all the questions in such a logical way. I was like, wow, that really does make a lot of sense. And yeah, just that kind of planted the seed more and more, and then the seed began to grow more and more, and then I was baptized in January, and all this year it's just my number one priority, my number one identity. um I don't want to have an identity in anything else. you know my As a Christian, your number one identity should be in Christ rather than, oh, my political party or my
Hmm.
career as a real estate investor or, my sports team or whatever. And yeah, I think a lot of people were in the same boat that I was in, which is they say that they're Christian, but respectfully aren't one. And I just want to bring understanding to those people and in a gentle and polite way, like wake up kind of thing. Because I'm not judging, obviously, because I was in the same spot.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, I think it's hard to. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, that is interesting. That's a cool perspective, and I think what you're doing, I can tell. Obviously, you care about it, and that'll make the content better. And that, yeah, that's a really cool background. So
yeah,
what's the vision, do you think, to continue spreading this message that, and I think there is a gap, and what you talked about is really common,
yeah.
that people feel like that. So what's the vision for expanding this?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's something I think I was just talking to my buddy last night about it. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm leaning heavy on and diving a lot into apologetics, which is a Christian apologetics is basically having the knowledge of like biblical and historical context, all in order to defend Christianity, like be able to answer any kind of objection against non-believers or people from other religions, like
Mm.
a Muslim, be like, oh, well, this says that in the Bible, and being able to handle those objections and really defend the faith. And that's something I've been doing or diving a lot into. Wes Huff, he's a very well-known apologist. He went on Joe Rogan, and
Oh,
since he went
interesting.
on Joe
Yeah. Yeah.
Rogan last year, he's blown up. He's
Yeah. There's
awesome.
crazy stats when people go on Joe Rogan, and
Yeah.
I mean, it speaks to how big podcasting has become, but people have books and their sales go up like
Yeah, it's
4,000%. And
crazy. And before that, Wes wasn't really super well known. He goes on Rogan, and now everyone kind of knows who he is, and he's so knowledgeable. He also went to, all the schools for it, and he's like an expert in ancient languages and all the things.
he's
So,
just got really good ways of, I'm sure, articulating
yes, yes.
and the objections, like the questions you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, those are pretty deep questions that you can go down, and a
Yeah.
lot of it gets almost more philosophical and moral
Hmm.
when you get into that area. So there's a lot of room there.
Yeah. I mean, you can dive into, morality. You can dive into, pretty much anything you can imagine.
Hmm.
Um, through a Christian lens, it's different than what culture and society is pushing right now. So it's very countercultural. So a lot of people, it's difficult for them to
Well, there is,
understand why we would think the way we do.
yeah, yeah, and isn't from at least what I've read, and you would probably know more about this than me, but it seems like religion across the world has been declining, particularly with people our age.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's like the lowest it's been. I mean,
I,
maybe ever.
I don't, to be honest, I see reports on both sides.
Hmm.
I see some people saying it is declining, which um, I wouldn't be surprised
Well, I
because
think,
everyone is just, our culture is so bad, dude. It's
yeah.
so bad.
Why do you think that is? I don't disagree. Just
Everyone's
curious.
very self absorbed, everyone's very materialistic, hookup culture. Um, they're more,
immediate.
yes, they're more concerned with satisfying the short-term gratification than the
Mm.
long-term fulfillment.
Well, I think we're wired for that. So I think you almost have to actively push against that.
Yes, because yeah, so this is interesting because I can, because a lot of people, they'll do certain things, or what we would see maybe as a sin, and people will say, oh, like I naturally feel to do this thing, I naturally feel this way, but we don't believe that everything natural is good.
Mm.
Like if I am growing up and I'm a kid in a toy box and I have this natural urge to hit a kid over the head with a toy truck, does that mean it was a good thing just because it
Mm.
was natural? No.
There's this really. Are you familiar with Robert Greene? He wrote the 48 Laws of Power.
No.
Are you familiar with that book, or have you heard
Mm-mm.
of it? Okay, it's a very popular book. He's definitely my favorite author, but he has this book called Mastery, and there's one quote in it, and I don't remember it exactly, but he says something like peak selfishness is giving into your immediate pleasures.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like, there's nothing more selfish than that, and nothing more unfulfilling than that. And
Yeah.
oh, the actual quote is so much better than I just explained, but I think that is true. I think the most satisfying things, like you're going to be most satisfied with your work when you put all this energy, time, and then you get the reward. If someone just handed you the money, I mean, yeah, that'd be nice, but
Yeah.
you would feel like an imposter. Like what I do for
Yeah.
this. So I think it is, or even health, right? Like anything, it's just it sucks sometimes going to the gym or going on a run
Yeah.
or not eating or eating decent, and you're just delaying it because ultimately it's going to be better for you, but it's
Yeah.
a conscious decision you have to make.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. I mean, it's like that with pretty much everything in life. And from a Christian perspective, the way we talk about it is like we are denying our flesh.
Mm.
Like we're denying what, like we have a natural, urge to lust and to sleep
Well, that's
around.
what, yeah, you said hookup culture. That's interesting too, because that also applies as like it's so much more satisfying to be in a meaningful relationship, and it takes so much time, energy, and effort. And it's like, how I feel about AK. I take that over being on Tinder or
Hmm.
whatever. Like all day, I can't even imagine how people feel who do that. I'm like, if you're just hooking up with random girls, it can't be that
Yeah.
satisfying. Maybe it's fun, in the short term, and
Yeah.
I'm sure it is, but it's like long term. It's just not the same.
I mean, the issue, I mean, it's so bad, dude, in my mind at least. The dating scene and hooking up and our everything is so over sexualized nowadays, and
It's pretty
it's
insane, actually.
absurd.
And then you got AI, and obviously I work in child abuse, and I mean, there's all sorts of stuff, even with
Yeah.
kids, and it's
Yeah. It's a crazy.
it's pretty sick, some of the internet stuff that comes out, and like people are doing like AI kids and stuff like that, and
That's
it's
crazy.
disgusting.
I never even heard of that.
Hmm. They did like there's chat rooms sometimes, law enforcement. Oh, here, you want to hear a really interesting story? I don't know I may be butchering some of these details. I just want to clarify before I say it, but
Wait, real quick, can I go to the restroom before you start?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Go
cool.
right there.
I don't want to have to go the whole time while you're telling us.
No, no, you're
Oh my
good.
gosh.
This is gonna be a yeah. Well, I'll keep talking during the intermission. Well, 30 podcast in 30 days. Taking a quick break. I think, what will this be? This will be episode overall 39, day 6 of the challenge. So we got 30 more or 24 more podcasts to go. It's a lot of podcasts. So if you've been watching, thank you. I'll take this bathroom break as a time to say subscribe, watch, follow this journey. If you want to be on the podcast, reach out. And any feedback, always welcome. I'm going to be, I think, upgrading the camera soon. Maybe do some more experimental stuff. So this has been the intermission. I got to be honest, I'm not sure. So normally I don't edit these at all is my thing. So I was kind of talking between, but never had a mid bathroom. Not that it's a
I had
problem.
to edit one of mine, and it was
Yeah.
so clunky.
I kind of like not editing, like even that part.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just feels more authentic. I feel
Yeah.
like there's enough stuff that's edited and clipped. I
And
think
it's
it's cool.
difficult because whenever you have only just one camera angle,
Oh yeah.
you can't like hide it.
Yeah.
Like there's only one
But it's
cut.
it's called the Average Joe Podcast, so it's not like this is a
I
professional
had to do the same
production.
thing.
We're just figuring it out. But this story, so like I was saying, I might get some details wrong, but I did some training. We are talking about child sexual abuse and the dark web. It was the biggest website for it's called, so they don't, the technical term or the term we use isn't child pornography. We say child sexual exploitation material. So CSEM is the acronym. So the biggest CSEM website in the dark web is called like Playhouse or something. People would go on the dark web, get photos, videos, sometimes meet up with people. And law enforcement went undercover and they became friends with the owner of the site. And it's really hard to track people down. And they basically told the owner some version of, oh, we have a 12-year-old girl just for you. Like, we're going to bring her to you. So they end up, the guy thinks he's meeting a 12-year-old girl, of course, ends up being law enforcement. They go take his computer, hard drive, all this stuff, shut down the site. That guy, I don't remember his name. I don't even want to give his name any attention, but he was living in his parents' basement in Fieldstone Farms, Franklin, Tennessee.
No way.
Yep. And his parents had no idea. He was running the largest child sexual exploitation material website at the time in the world from his parents' basement in Franklin, Fieldstone
That's
Farms.
crazy.
Yeah. The detective who was doing this training, he was involved in the case and he was telling us about it. I'm like, whoa.
Dude, what?
Isn't that insane?
And in a place that you wouldn't expect, like Franklin, it's like,
Oh yeah.
it's so
No,
nice.
people think Williamson County, of course, it's a wealthier county, but I work mostly sexual abuse cases. Those we get a fair amount.
Yeah.
It exists.
Wow. So he ran like the website?
Yeah, I think he started the website. It was something like that. But they were able to shut it down from whatever they did with him.
How old was he?
I want to say he was like mid-30s. Maybe like it was something too old to be living in your mom's
Yeah,
basement.
I mean, I was just curious. Obviously, it doesn't matter. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
Too old no matter what, but
Yeah, but it
oh
was
my gosh.
no, I'll always remember that detective telling that story. I was like, whoa, because Fieldstone Farms it's so close to where
Yeah.
this is. It's a 8-minute drive.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, dude, when I hear stuff like that and stuff that happens all over the world, to be honest, and a lot of stuff this year, I hear things like that, and in my mind, it is just so obvious to me, at least, that we really are in this battle of good versus evil. Like, this is, like, as much as we may think it's just like a human versus human thing, I fully think it's just a full on spiritual battle of good versus evil. Like,
how do you? And I know there's no easy answer, but how do you define like what's good, what's evil?
morality.
How do you define morality?
Yeah, so you either think morality is objective or subjective.
Well, I think it'd be bizarre to think it's objective.
You think it's bizarre to be objective?
Well, to think something like a concept like morality can be objective.
How so?
Because I mean, the nature of it is when we talk about moral stuff, it's you're constructing what it is. There's no objective measurement of morality in my head, but you can change my mind.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah, so I believe morality is objective. And we get morality from God. God has told us what is good, what is evil, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. And we can say, over the years, we have constructed this kind of morality here that we have in 2025. But I do think that
But what's objective about it?
objective about what?
Like about so like when we're saying good and evil, those are also subjective terms. Like there's like we can agree there's some clear situations, right? Like murdering someone, we would say is bad.
Mm-hmm.
But what if it's in self-defense?
Mm-hmm.
Then is it good? And then I think there's just a lot of gray areas where these lines between what we would label good or evil get blurred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that, because when you think morality is subjective, that means that it's up to the individual. Like it's person by person, right?
Which, yeah, I do think
But at some point, we have to have like
a
a
consensus.
moral truth. Like this is, this isn't. And when you have people like in the Middle East, for example, like they think it's morally right to do, throw gay people off buildings.
Yeah, and then there's parts of the world where they marry off 12-year-olds to
Yeah.
men.
Yeah.
You know,
And so,
I think we could get consensus on that's not good.
yeah. But I think,
But to them, it'd be interesting to see how like their rationality of it, because clearly it makes sense to them,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
is interesting in of itself.
Yeah. I think all of morality, how we derive what is good versus evil, all came from God in the beginning. For example, I'm not sure how familiar you are with Old Testament.
You're going to be much more familiar.
So in the Old Testament, the Old Testament is an absolute war zone, basically. People are murdering, pillaging, raping, child sacrifices, all of this stuff. Yeah.
So I've never actually read the Bible. I know you were like, I hadn't either, and most people don't.
Yeah.
So I fall into that category.
Yeah. So there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the Old Testament. And without God then telling them how they should live and give them what is, objective, good versus evil, society and those people would have just continued to do those things.
So here's where I'm struggling. So I think, without a doubt, I think whether you're religious or not, it'd be hard to argue that the values of Christianity are not good for most people, and that religion isn't a good thing, and community, and be kind to people, don't cheat on your wife, like all these stuff, don't murder people, that I agree are really good. But when we're saying like objective, maybe we have different definitions of objective and subjective, but there's just so many, I think humans are just so complex, and there's so many different situations that we can't label things as good and evil, because there's just so much discretionary space. I think we can talk about specific things and get consensus on, but I don't know. I think reality's blurrier than that. So I think it is subjective. Not that it's a bad thing, but there's no metric of when we say a term like morality. Like we can't say, there's no like numerical, there's no quantitative data or analysis we can do to say something's moral. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's not like you can scientifically or statistically prove that.
Which I think in of itself makes it subjective, which does not mean it's not valuable or useful. It's just a different type of thing in my head.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think this is where we are going to completely, because we look at life through completely different lens. And I have some like one of my good friends, he's you don't even have to tell me if you're religious at all, but he's atheist, agnostic, but we still have really good, productive conversations about things.
Yeah.
And
probably is actually super helpful talking with him to form your ideas 100%. And how to talk about things.
Yeah. And shoot, what was I going to say?
You said
yeah. So me and him, we think about life and look at life through a completely different lens. And he's more kind of what you just said. I need like proof.
No, no,
Like I
no.
need
So
science or
wait,
statistics to back this
let me
up.
clarify real
Okay.
quick. I'm not saying that for me. I'm
Okay.
saying in my head to call something objective, we do need proof. I'm saying this is subjective. It can still be true and it can still be valuable. I just think I was caught up on the
Okay.
objective subjective because I'm doing a master's program too, like I said, and that's a big concept in it is safety. And
Hmm.
people argue safety is objective, but it's really subjective when you think about it.
So what proof would you need in order for something to be objective?
That's a good question. Well, it would depend on what it
Because for
is.
me, it's God. But if
I
you simply
see where
don't
you're
believe in
going.
God, then obviously you're not gonna
You know
see
that
that at all.
I actually see where you're going with that. So in your head, or what you're saying is God is the objective part.
Yes.
And that's why morality is objective because it stems from God.
Yes. Yes.
Good argument. I see it.
Like, it's like God. If I truly
It's a
believed,
good discussion.
yeah, this is exactly how I want my podcast to be.
Yeah.
If I truly believe that God created the heavens and the earth and everything in it, why would I not therefore then believe that whatever his standard of morality is true?
So how would you describe his standard of morality?
That's a good question. I mean, Ten Commandments are obviously a good one to fall back on.
Yeah, of course. The
Um,
lessons in there are great. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But to your point, to be also though, like there are these bigger issues that everyone can pretty much flat out agree on, right?
Yes.
But when you get in those gray areas, which there are, because you can get in these super specific
Yep.
situations over here and over here where it's like, well, it's a little bit more nuanced. In my head, even when we're in those more complex topics that are a bit more in the weeds, it's still objective to me in my head
Yeah.
because of my Christian beliefs. And that,
No, I mean
because
that's a good argument.
even without the 10 Commandments, I can look at all the other scripture to derive
But do
what.
you think and I agree, we're talking about in the weeds. We can get general consensus on
Mhm.
most things, but there's gonna be places in the weeds where you're probably gonna be like, oh, I don't know. Like, would you label that good or evil? Like, have you heard of the trolley problem? This is a
Mm-mm.
classic psychology dilemma, and it's actually pretty interesting. So the scenario is you are by a lever. There's a train. There's someone stuck on the railroad. Um, or wait, sorry. There's 5 people stuck on the railroad. If you move the lever, it diverts the train, and then there's one person. So if you pull it,
Mhm.
you're essentially doing an
Yeah,
action
I
that's going
know.
to kill
Yeah,
one
yeah, yeah, yeah,
person,
yeah.
but you're going to save 5.
Yeah.
Is that like I don't even know quite how I'm setting this up, but then it's interesting. They also frame it as, well, you have to shove someone down and it'll stop the train. And then people are way less likely to do that than they are to
Mhm.
pull a lever. And then what if it's, that one person though is your mom or your girlfriend or your friend? And then you get into, I think it's just an illustration of how ideas and morality and the decisions we make can be blurred in
Yeah.
these situations.
It could definitely be blurred, but in a situation like the one you just described, I don't think one of those decisions is good and one is evil. Like if
So it's
you
a gray area.
yeah, but I think in my mind I'm like, how did we get there in the first place?
Well, yeah, it's a crazy thought
But
experiment. But
yes.
here's what I'll say. So I know we talked about religion, but I think the same thing about the criminal justice system. It is not objective. People act like it is. People want it to be, but it is not objective. And you get into concepts like negligence. All those are constructions, and people saying like the if you look at the definition of criminal negligence, all the words in it are up to interpretation and
Mhm.
subjective. So I think I'm just extra push back against it because I think uh, I don't know. It's definitely my master's program really pushes back against this idea because it is important the narratives we tell and how we construct things. Um, and I think like the criminal justice system is not it's a system but it's messy and it's not
Yeah.
perfect. And when DNA came out, we had thousands of people who were in prison or had been, put to death who didn't do it.
Yeah.
Um, and then like negligence, we have all these biases in hindsight that impact how we view things and how we label things. And I think labeling something as moral or not, or good or evil, for better or worse, does come down to the construction of someone's narrative and interpretation of it. But your grounding in it is God, and that from your frame allows you to view it as objective, which makes total sense to me, the way you're framing it.
Yeah. I think in the beginning, you know, the world it fell into chaos. Like I said, everyone was doing these terrible things. And without,
So were you reading this and you're like, oh, whoa.
well, yeah, because I mean, that was another question. That's another objection that non-believers have. It's like, all this stuff is in the Old Testament. Like, all this bad stuff is in the Bible.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? But I truly believe that without God, chaos would have just continued to ensue.
Mm-hmm.
And without Jesus coming down and teaching us how to live this morally objective life, in my eyes, we would have no framework. We would just be barbarians like they were back then.
Yeah. Well,
But
we're on that same page that it's a good framework.
yes, but
100%.
But that said, I understand why people can't understand like what I would be saying, because it's like it all boils down to, I believe in Jesus and the other person doesn't. That's really all it boils down to.
But I think, but I feel like historically people have interpreted the Bible differently and have used it differently.
Yeah.
And senses of morality, and people have. So I think that speaks to how it's, in my head, not objective.
But that's people interpreting that and interpreting it wrongly and justifying bad actions is a human decision.
But wrongly from whose perspective?
God.
But how do you know exactly what God's perspective is?
Through Scripture.
But do you see where I'm saying? So people can read the exact same Scripture and come up with different interpretations. Mm-hmm. Why is yours the accurate one?
So I don't know how to explain this.
And I'm not trying to set you up, or it's this. But that, or yeah.
So I would say, obviously people can interpret things differently, but there really, at the end of the day, is only one truth. Like, people can read a verse and interpret it differently than someone else because they have different mindsets from their environment and how they were raised and X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, we all have our own
biases,
narratives, biases, all of it. Yeah.
Which causes that person to interpret a verse differently than someone else. That doesn't make their interpretation correct, though.
But why is your interpretation correct and not this person's?
Because a lot of people, they interpret the Bible in order for their personal gain, and support a lot of stuff.
Well, I'm sure this is true. I'm sure the people in that position would genuinely think in their head, this is the correct interpretation of the Bible. I'm not using this for my personal gain. This is how I view it, and it's how it reads. And that's why I think what we're saying that people do have is, in my head, why it's subjective. And again, I don't think subjective is a bad term or a negative term.
Yeah,
I think most things are subjective. Mm-hmm. And especially when, like, my field is highly subjective. When I go talk to cases, I have to construct a story to tell my supervisor and present. I think most things with humans, and most things that are complex, and humans are the most complex of it all, things are subjective. It's not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know, and we may just disagree on this. I don't know if you can say, I am reading the Bible correctly, these people aren't, my interpretation's right, theirs isn't, you know?
Yeah, I think
theirs is different, and multiple perspectives can be perspectives, but
Yeah, I agree, but also disagree at the same time. Because I do understand what you're saying, and I've sometimes thought the same thing. But I think that if you truly have a good understanding of scripture and the verses and what's actually saying in the original historical context, there really is no way to incorrectly interpret it.
do you think there's ways to differently interpret it, even if
Yeah,
you're
100%. I mean, people.
even if you
I mean,
aren't looking
I
at
don't
it?
even know what. I don't even want to get in that topic, and the one just popped in my head. But
I'm
yeah,
curious, but we don't have to.
I mean, people interpret the Bible differently all the time in order to support how they want to live their life. That's an issue that I have big time.
But how does your view not support the way you want to live your life?
Because I'm living my life for God. I'm denying my flesh based on what scripture tells us how to live. I can't say the same for a lot of other people. They are willingly like putting blinders on to verses so they can continue to live their life the way they want to.
So what, well, I don't know. Maybe this has been also of all the podcasts I've done, definitely the best discussion. Or at least the most I've feel like I've thought about a
Stimulating.
discussion. It's stimulating. Yeah, that's the right word. I mean, we might just disagree, but the way you're framing it is you're saying my view is right, these people's aren't. But I, yeah, I don't know.
And it's not, it's like, in my mind, it's not me, Austin. Like, it's not my,
Yeah.
I didn't come up with.
But whether for better or worse, you are still Austin, you are still a person, you are still reading this, and you still have everything, your notions, your biases, your narratives, your environment, your growing up. That is the lens and through which you are reading and understanding and interpreting this scripture.
But like what I said earlier, if my true number one identity is in Christ, over all of those things you just mentioned, then all of those biases that I might have from my environment go out the window.
But you can't, at least from my understanding and my psychology background, we can't separate from our biases. You can be aware of them, but they don't just disappear. You can minimize it and you can mitigate them, but you can't just like get rid of them.
Yeah, you can't get rid of them, but you can, like you just said, minimize them and
Yeah,
not
of course.
let that
But
dictate
you
how you live
can't.
your life.
Here's what my argument is, and yours might be different, is no single person can be fully objective. It's impossible. We all have our biases, we all have our thoughts, we all have our narratives, we all have how we grew up. It's impossible for us to be objective. And sometimes we're really bad at even understanding ourselves, which just speaks to how complex
Yeah,
people are.
I agree.
So if we agree that no one person can be objective, then how can we say that the Bible is objective?
Because we humans are subjective.
Yes.
God is not.
But how people interpret God and the writings varies because we are people.
Yeah.
Which makes it subjective in my head.
Yeah, like
you're saying it comes from an objective source.
Humans are subjective, right?
So even if it comes from something objective, our interpretations are subjective.
Yes, but the overarching umbrella is objective.
But we also agree that people interpret this overarching umbrella differently based on how they read it, based on their experiences.
Well, I mean, overarching umbrella, I mean God as a whole. Rather, I think people are subjective on, individual issues under that umbrella. But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think, like back in the Old Testament people like murdering each other, raping each other, and all of these things. How do you think they like? Do you think with hmm, how do you think that society back then came to a point where they stopped doing that?
Well, are we not still in a society where there's rape and murder and bad things? And I'm skewed because
Yeah,
I see it a lot in
yeah,
my job.
yeah.
Um, I don't know if there was a lot more.
But
I,
at least we know it's a bad thing. Back then, they thought it was completely normal.
to rape and kill people?
Yeah.
Wow. You have more background than me. I don't know, and I'm not an atheist either.
Mm.
Just so we're on the same page. I grew up Catholic. I don't know if I'd say I'm Catholic. I'd say I'm Christian and exploring, but I have these thoughts as
Yeah.
you do. And I'm certainly not as well read or have as much background as you do. But I I don't know, because I think that's still in society. I think it, or what would like your understanding be?
Yeah. So my understanding is that, yeah, while those things are still in society today, we understand them as objectively wrong, right? Wait, like we're able to decipher, yes, this is good, this is wrong. How did we get to that point? Because back thousands of years ago, they thought it was all normal. So how
Are
did
you
they,
sure they thought it was all normal thousands of years ago?
dude? They were,
I'm sure it
yeah.
happened, but you thought like people thought just killing people was all good and normal. Here's here's where I'll push back again, and this actually this is really interesting. I do love this discussion. But we don't completely agree on the guy who shot the United Healthcare CEO. Some people would argue that that was a good thing and that he made a statement. I think murder's wrong, but there's gray area and there's people who feel this
Charlie
way about things.
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some people cheered that. Some people thought it was the most despicable thing. So people view things differently. So I don't think there is consensus on things. And like I said, I absolutely think it's wrong to marry children to older men. But in those cultures, to them, it is not wrong. They don't view it as wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. I just think it's more nuanced than it's, and not saying that you're not saying it is, but it's not like we just have some clear, here's what's good, here's what's bad. And as I was saying, I don't think the criminal justice system is super clear on things either. And that's why people who get really good attorneys get out of stuff, because they argue their interpretation of the law.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just, and it's hard. We can't go over every case or example, but I don't think there's a clear foundation. I think we can absolutely get consensus on the vast majority of things, like you said, but there are these weeds and there's a significant amount in gray areas where it is different based on culture and individuals and how people look at things and see things. And I mean, stuff that I'm sure was acceptable 100 or 1,000 or 4,000 years ago has changed to now. And there's stuff that is probably unacceptable now that was acceptable then, and vice versa.
Yeah, like the people that are committing atrocities overseas, like in their minds, they think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that,
you that goes back to the dissonance, right? If you're fighting a war, how awful would you feel if you're a soldier and you're like, this war is stupid, this makes no
yeah,
sense, this is awful what I'm doing.
yeah,
You have to rationalize,
yeah,
I'm fighting for a greater purpose or cause, or this makes sense because.
yeah. I think like when I see some of the stuff go on in the Middle East, right? They think they're doing the right things in their mind, right? And it's subjective to them. It's subjective to us humans. They think that them committing these atrocities is a good thing. And the reason you and I and most of civilization can agree that actually that isn't subjective, that's really bad, is because of the morality we have learned from God.
Yeah, I think we're still just, and it's fine that we are on different definitions of subjective and objective, because
Maybe.
we're presuming, or your argument's presuming that we, whatever our culture is, or us as individuals, we have the truth, the right, the objective sense. They don't. They're subjective. When really it's just all different perspectives. And these things make sense to different people, and everyone has their own local rationalities. There's oh, what's this? What's it called? Fundamental attribution error. Have you heard of that?
No.
So if you see someone slip and fall, we'll be like, it will usually attribute it internally. We'll be like, oh, they're clumsy or what an idiot. They didn't see. If we do, it's external. Like, oh, it was wet right there. I was in a rush.
Yeah.
So we tend to do this where we're biased towards when other people do stuff that we don't like, we label it internally. They're idiots. They're stupid. When we do stuff, we explain it externally.
Yeah.
So we're just wired and biased towards thinking that, I don't know, what we think makes more sense than what other people think.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know if it's a good thing. It exists, and I think well, I'll use your it depends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's generally a good thing, though. I don't think it's generally good that we are so judgmental of other people
I agree.
and not so judgmental. Not that we should be more judgmental of ourselves, but perhaps less judgmental of other people, understand that they have rationalities that make sense and that we do as well. And that these different perspectives can exist. I don't know, would be my take. Kind of just went on a
Yeah. No, man, I agree 100% on what you just said. It's a big issue that I see in a lot of Christians is being judgmental. And that's actually
interesting.
That's a big gripe with a lot of non-Christians. Like, oh, the Christians are super
Interesting.
judgmental.
Yeah.
And that's like the complete opposite of the point. Going back to what I said earlier, people misunderstand the Bible and Christianity because people are flawed.
But
And
by you saying these things are objective, what these people are doing is evil, is that not being judgmental?
no.
How so?
Do you think there's cases where judgment is good, or do you think it's always bad?
Well, I wouldn't say anything's like always bad in that sense. Well, we have to use our judgments.
Like, for example, if
we
you were,
we have to use our judgments.
if you were an alcoholic and I just kept supporting you with that, you're like, yeah, you do your thing, because that's how you naturally feel like you just want to keep drinking. And I didn't step in and say, hey, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. I'm not judging you, but I'm saying, hey, there's a better way to do things. It's what I would call admonishment, which is like a gentle,
yeah.
like,
No, I
pointing
see.
us in the
I
right
see where you're going.
direction.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm judging at all.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm doing the opposite.
Yeah.
Because you can't expect everyone to think the same as you, to live and have the same perspectives.
Well,
as you.
I guess how do you actually a really good point. How do you approach it then in a way? So if this is, here's a better alternative. What we have here with Christianity, this is the best way to live. How do you approach it in a way that's not judgmental when you're trying to explain it to maybe someone with a different background or other cultures without coming across as you're wrong, here's the way?
Yeah, a lot of times it's tough because people nowadays are so hypersensitive, and their feelings are their identity. And it's like, how dare you disagree with my feelings? You disagree with my feelings, that means you disagree with my existence as a person.
What the problem with that is you can't have any discussion.
No, you can't.
If you're grounded, like we've talked for probably like 40 minutes now and had a great discussion and been bouncing ideas, but if you stand on the hill that, well, or how did you exactly just explain it? If you stand on the hill though, like, well, everything you say, I hate you so much based on what you just said, I can't even think about anything else. You're wrong about everything. You can't have any discussion.
Yeah. People. Sorry, what was your original question? Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. How do you best approach, here's a really good path. I know you've been on this path. I'm not, in a way that's not, doesn't feel judgmental as I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah, through love. In a loving way that you make it very clear to that person that, hey, this is coming from a place of love rather than a place of judgment. The Bible is, the number one theme is love. Like, that's number one thing. The way to tell, the litmus test or acid test to tell if your spirit, growing in your spiritual formation is, are you becoming a more loving person?
How do you measure that for yourself?
what my heart posture looks like. You know, what are my intentions behind things? How do I truly actually see people that I disagree with in my heart? Do I see them as just someone who is stupid because they hold different views than me, or do I also just see them as another human who's also a child of God and is exactly the same as me?
That goes to the judgment thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a really good. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I like that lens.
But yeah, man, a lot of Christians get it wrong because they hyperfixate and are way too legalistic with how Christians should act.
Mm.
And that's actually the complete opposite. Like when Jesus came down, there were these people called the Pharisees, and they were like these religious elite people that they had all of these religious laws, and if you
I'm sure
broke
they benefited
and
from it.
yes, and if you broke one of them, then you had to make
Get
it.
stoned.
Yes, exactly. And they were hypocrites because they
Mm.
were following all of these laws and judging other people for not following them perfectly.
But they
But the
weren't.
whole time they weren't either, and they were missing the whole
They were
point
doing
of
none
why
of
the
it.
law was even there in the first
Mm.
place. So when Jesus came, he calls all the Pharisees out, and he's like, "You guys are missing the whole point of the law. The law isn't to bring other people down. The law is to live a more fulfilling life." And that's kind of the same way we need to approach it when talking to non-believers. Like, this isn't a rule book. This isn't me telling you, hey, you, like, tisk, 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 I'm going to slap your wrist because you did this wrong. It's more just like,
A subjective metric of how to live a more fulfilling life.
I don't think it's subjective, though.
But you're, yeah. I think we have different definitions of objective and subjective
We
because
might.
I agree with everything you're saying. The words are just like, but objective would be to me more like, here's the strict rules that you follow. This is an objective
Yeah.
rule. If you do this, then that.
I don't think I am.
But the way you're measuring your sense of love is subjective. It's how you feel. It's how
Do
you
you think
feel.
love is a feeling?
I think it's deeper than a feeling. I don't know if feeling does the word justice, but it is subjective. You can't, how would you describe when you love someone? Like, you can't objectively say, well, my heart rate goes up to these beats per minute and
Well,
I
I
feel,
don't think love is something that you would argue is objective or subjective. I think what we would argue is objective or subjective is like people's actions, not like feeling of
yeah.
love. But I do think, I don't think love is just a feeling. Love is
Yeah.
an
Feeling,
action.
feeling feels like, it doesn't do it
If you
justice.
just, if it's all just feelings and say
But
you're
but I feel like an action doesn't do it justice either. Like I feel like it's
a
more than that.
sacrifice.
Yeah, like it's really powerful. That
Mhm.
might be that might be a word that actually does it justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I am going to put aside what I'm going to put aside my own desires to serve this other person and put this other person
Yeah.
up and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
support them.
Yeah.
And if you do only have love as a warm feeling in you, what happens when those days come where,
Well, then is it really love?
yeah, exactly, it's not.
I don't think I think that goes back to sort of the shallow we were talking about with the hookup culture and other stuff is it's not love. You can't love someone for
Yeah.
a night. And I think I've talked about this on the podcast before too, but we went to my friend's wedding in Chicago and I was with AK and one of my friends, he was like, "Oh, dude, I wish I had a girlfriend." And in my head, I'm like, "No, you don't. You like the idea of having a girl with you
Mhm.
right now because you're at a wedding and you see couples. You don't want to put in the work. You don't want to spend the time, the energy, the disagreements, the like amount of effort it takes to have a meaningful relationship and really care about someone. Like, you don't see any of that. You just see us acting all cute at this wedding.
Yeah.
Like, it's been 6 years
Yeah.
of stuff and it hasn't always been easy. And I haven't always been easy and we're people and it's complex. So it's like, yeah, this sacrifice. I like that. I like
Yeah, I
that.
mean, because if it all is just on feeling, your relationship is going to crumble because when those tough days do
When those
come,
feelings go away.
when those feelings go away, or like when, rubber meets the road and, there's going to be days where, um, you AK like really needs your help with something and you don't feel like doing it at all. Like it's the last thing you want to do is help her with this thing, but you put that aside and you
Mm-hmm.
do it anyway. You're giving her
Selflessness.
selflessness. You're giving her grace in a way. You're giving her something that, you know, you're that she might not even deserve it sometimes.
Mm.
Like you're being
Selfless.
selfless.
Yeah. That's you
Yeah.
could change the definition pretty
Yeah.
quickly there.
You're being selfless.
Well,
You
what would
are.
be, I guess, on a, or anything else you want to say about our discussion, or can I shift slightly?
Yeah, you can shift it from morality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we covered
Yeah,
probably
and
pretty in
I
depth.
honestly I don't think here's something I'm still trying to get better at because and I've talked to my friends about this and I'm trying to get better at it for, the content and the podcast and everything like that and stuff I want to do further down the line is I don't know if you ever feel like this. Like when you ask me a question, for example, I have all of the knowledge in my head and it makes sense in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes perfect sense, but I have a difficult time articulating it and laying it out in a logical way that would be easy for someone else with differing opinions to understand.
Oh,
So
of
I'm
course. Yeah.
trying. So ask me that later on too, and I'll probably have a better way to explain it. And I'll also send you some people I watch that are way better at explaining it than I am.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I have in my head, it's like I'm so bad at
So
explaining
Austin,
it.
couple of things. One, I feel the exact same way. And I think it's very valuable trying to like these are big concepts and
Yeah.
they're very complex and you can go different directions and you can't anticipate every question. So you have this framework in your head that makes sense, but sometimes it's difficult when I throw a question you've never heard or a topic you've never heard. And the only way to get better is practice and
Mm-hmm.
doing it, and you will get better at it. Just through repetition and especially getting different questions from different people. But yeah, no, I feel the exact same way. And I think it's interesting too, though, because sometimes we do have things that make sense in our head and then you try to explain it to someone and you're like, ooh, maybe
I
maybe I'm,
butchered that.
no, not just that.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe
Uh-huh.
I was not thinking about this right, or maybe there is an alternative, or, and sometimes we have ideas we'll run by our friends or family. They're like, Joe, that's not, I'm like, oh, wow, that made so much sense in my head. That was so,
Yeah. Yeah.
but then there's other times, yeah, I'm like, I do have this knowledge. I just need to get better at explaining it. And I think the best way to learn something is to teach it to people.
Yeah.
And not only teach it to
100%.
people, but in a way that someone with zero background in any of this can understand
Yeah.
and follow.
Yeah.
And that's a really difficult skill that will
Yeah.
take a lot more of these to get good at. But this has been fun because I think this is the first legit, I don't want to say, I want to say like discussion, because it didn't feel like a disagreement, but like a stimulating discussion on the
Yeah.
podcast. I feel like it's mostly been like me getting someone's story or
Yeah.
kind of just BSing about random things.
Yeah.
This was actually like my brain's been working.
Yeah. That's
So
good. That's
thank you for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And please do send me. I'd love to see it.
Oh yeah. I will.
I feel that way too. Sometimes I'll try to regurgitate stuff I've heard or seen. I'm like, they explained it so good.
Yeah, I've been there. What did you want to shift it to?
Oh, I was gonna say, so along the same topic, but I think this will be just interesting. So for yourself, what has been or what really stands out to you from this journey that you think has been super valuable for your life, and then what lessons or frameworks do you think are really beneficial for people to know and live by?
I would say letting peace rule in your heart. Paul writes that in Colossians 3, and obviously you read that and it's just, yeah, obviously I want to be peaceful, but like, how do I be peaceful? And
It's the struggle, man.
yeah, and the way I feel at most peace, and to be honest, you could say, I mean, a non-Christian could practice the same thing and it still work, is that I just keep gratitude top of mind. Like I've done the math, the chances of us living in the US is like 0.03% chance.
Mm.
The chance of us being born in the US even less than that. The chance of us having good parent, you can go
Have you
on and
seen
on and
that
on.
chart of your odds of being alive in the first place? Like if
I think at
the
some point,
sperm meeting
yeah,
the embryo is
yeah,
like, dude, our odds of being alive are like 1 in 10
yeah,
negative 64 quadrillion trillion.
yeah,
What it's insane.
yeah. And so when you look at life through a lens of gratitude, it minimizes a lot of things you once thought were, you know, stressful or cause anxiety. It's like, yeah, I'm going through all this stuff in real estate, but
But it's amazing I'm alive.
I'm not fighting in a ditch in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not being slaughtered in
Essentially, what
Nigeria.
that is having some perspective.
Yes. Yeah. And so really
And it's also
just
amazing how much time helps too.
yeah.
Because there's things I think back on that they were just the biggest deal. Like, especially when I was younger, like in high school, someone said something mean or said it was the biggest deal. And then like a week goes by, you don't even
Yeah.
remember, let alone a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. It's important to look at life from the perspective of being on top of a mountain than being in the weeds.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I
Because when
think,
you're in the weeds, you can't see anything. You're only looking at what's right in front of you, which is all your problems.
yeah, absolutely. My dad says this a lot too, and it resonates with me. And he says, nothing is ever as bad as it seems. Nothing is ever as good as it seems either.
Yeah.
And I think those are both really true. Like at the end of the day, we're going to be okay. If we shouldn't be, things are good. We're like, oh, we're going to be like this forever. And if things are bad, it's not going to be like that forever either.
This too shall
So
pass.
yeah, this too shall pass. And then the best thing to do, I think, is just do the best you can for your baseline to make yourself feel fulfilled and that what you're doing is meaningful and that you're not just giving into these simple pleasures, but that you are enjoying your life, but in a productive, creative way, and you feel like you're contributing something. I mean, I think ooh, I'll ask you this after, but I feel like so I really value, and you've said top of your value is Christ. I would say mine is not that this is a good thing or better, but I would say my two top priorities in my head are my health and my relationships. And that like those are what have given me a lot of meaning and just kind of gotten me through hard times is taking care of myself and relying on my relationships. I don't know where I was going with this, but what would so you
I
we
have a
got
question
yeah.
to that. Um, so my question's kind of going to answer why it's important to me to have my number one identity in Christ is because Christ is always there. Like God is never going anywhere. If I put all of my identity in relationships or a career, like people are going to fail you. So if they're going to die or the business idea isn't
Mm-hmm.
going to work out. So if I put my identity in those things, eventually I'm going to feel let down because people let each other down.
Yeah. So from your view, it's like this has to be the priority because
Yes.
these other things don't matter if this is not here.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, yeah.
It's a trickle down effect
Yeah.
almost. Yeah.
Well, that's how I feel about like my health too, and I do prioritize that because I think I'm like, what's the point of having good relationships or doing creative things or having a good career or making an impact if I'm not around to enjoy it,
Yeah.
and if I don't take care of myself, how am I supposed to help take care of others? But I think that's also what you're looking from. It's just from a even higher level above
Yeah.
what I am.
Because I hold a lot of value in my health as well. You know, I try not to eat like crap and
Only drink water.
only drink water and I work out, but say I put a lot of my identity in that and then my health takes a turn,
Where are you gonna
I'm
go?
then going to have an identity crisis. And honestly, earlier this year, I kind of had a minor one with real estate because things were not working out. And I was like, maybe I should just not do this
Mm.
thing anymore. And I realized I just put way too much of my identity in real estate
It's
and
really
being an investor.
interesting you said that because I ran a marathon a few years ago, and then like I don't know 6 months later or something, I was still running a lot. And this one Sunday, I woke up, ran 8 miles, felt great, Went to a restaurant with my family. This Mexican restaurant in Franklin, and we would play, like, we go with our family friends. They have younger kids. We play sharks and minnows in the parking lot. And someone bumped into me, total accident, trip, fell, spiral fractured my fibula. So like bone, like my fibula was just torn. I couldn't walk. I was in crutches for a while, and it was really hard. I mean, one, it was just like physically painful,
Yeah.
but mentally too, because that had been, and I have a stressful job, and I do a lot of things, and I have a lot of energy, and it was really hard. I, like probably the most depressed I maybe have ever been, and just felt like awful because I couldn't work out like I had been. And that was really painful because, like I said, that was a huge part of my identity. So that's a good point. Yeah, that was a tough period, and it could have been worse, and I got through it, and I'm glad I did. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
really dark for a second.
Yeah, I mean, and whenever those tough times come to me now, like whenever I go through tough times, I have an overwhelming sense of peace because I have built my life on this firm foundation.
Yeah,
I have my identity in
that
Christ.
outside of like well, even if you're killed, it's not taken away. So
Yeah,
pretty much it's the one thing that, right? Because like you said, relationships, and
yeah,
they can always
it's the
fail you.
only thing that
Your
will
health can
always
be
be there
taken.
forever and for eternity. And
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
yeah, and I mean, Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount, the Sermon on the Mount is in Matthew 5, 6, and 7. It's the most famous sermon ever recorded. And it's basically just him spitting out ethical genius. But at the end of it, he makes an analogy about building your life on a rock. Like if you build your house on a rock, when the storms come and the winds come, it's going to still be standing there. If you build it on sand, when the waters come and the storms come, it's going to get washed away. In the same way,
I see the analogy.
The house is my life. The rock is Christ. When I build my life on Christ, when the storms come, my life doesn't falter.
Yeah, it's like a sense of resilience that
Security.
It doesn't matter what happens. I know I'll have this, and I know I'll get through it, and even in the absolute worst case scenarios, I'll be okay. Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah. It's and that's the thing with really all of it for me at least. I want to again just help bring understanding to people that this is, I mean, we can talk about historical evidence for everything actually happening, but this is the most important question, whether you're a Christian or not. Like, how did we get here? Like, what does this all mean? What is our purpose? Like, that is the most important question.
That's what I was about to say. You can talk about the history, and then you could go deep into the morality and philosophical. But I think what you just said, that is the important question: is how do we get here? What do we need to believe in, and how do we live a life that aligns with our values? And I think you working towards that is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's really
it's a gap.
Yeah,
You're bridging a gap. Like, that is a gap, and it's an important gap. And I think, like we were talking about culture,
I mean, so many of my friends, so many people that you and I are mutual friends with, I would say, would identify as a Christian, as I did before.
But absolutely, if you just hung out with them, you'd be like, what are you doing? Like, you've done nothing this week. that says you're a Christian.
But again, what I said earlier, it's important to not be legalistic about it and be like, hey, you didn't go to church this week. Because it's not about following the rules. It's not about what you did. It's about what Christ already did for you, which is die on the cross. So there's nothing we can't work our way to heaven. There's nothing we can do. We are naturally born as sinners. Like, we're all sinners. We're all hypocrites. There's nothing we can do to deserve getting into heaven. And that's the whole point. Like, we can't work our way. We can't oh, if I read 20 scriptures a day, or if I go to
Yeah,
church,
yeah.
that's not how this
You don't want to
works.
be neurotic about it.
Yes, that's
And it's
not.
also I feel like it goes back to the it depends. Like it has to make sense with you as an individual. Now, of course, within this framework
Mhm.
and guiding, but what works for you and is fulfilling for you and your metric of love may be different for someone else doesn't necessarily make it bad as long as it's still within this framework.
Yeah, the argument between some Christians is we look at faith versus works. The only thing that we believe saves us is having a genuine faith in Christ. It doesn't matter the works that you do.
Hmm.
It doesn't
Right, because like
matter.
you said, you had a tough time in real estate. That's going to be different for someone who works in a completely different
Yeah,
field. But the feeling and the sense of I have this to ground me
yeah. The
is very similar.
the main thing is not how much you do, but where's your heart at? Like, what's in your heart? Like, do you truly love other people even if they're completely different than you? It doesn't matter if you read all of the scriptures and memorize verses. It's like, what's the intention behind that?
Hmm.
Is it to truly grow a closer relationship with God, or is it to use as, oh, I know more than this other person, and because I know more than you, you're
Hmm.
down here?
So, what would you recommend to people who are maybe, perhaps even like me, where I've grown up religious, but not, I wouldn't say super active. I have those questions you threw out. They resonate with me. It's tricky. I mean, but at the same time, the thought of us just like, oh poof, we're just here on a floating rock is also crazy.
You have to have more faith in that, I
Yeah, like
think.
that. Like that's an insane thought.
Yeah.
So for people who are though maybe I guess more just curious about Christianity in
Yeah.
general, what would you recommend?
Well, first, I would recommend going to church. That's
Feels like
pretty
a
simple.
good foundation.
But no, I mean, but a lot of people
Well, and
who
you can
aren't,
build a community with
yeah, but a
people who
lot of
can.
people who aren't Christians, they might not feel comfortable going to a church yet. That might be a little bit intimidating, which I understand. Um, but I would say really have two things. Have like a serious conversation with yourself. Like, what truly matters in my life? Like, what is my purpose in life? If you don't know your purpose, then
Figure out your
this
purpose.
this is probably a solution. And the other thing I would say logistically, what helped me a ton is really just like watching podcasts and YouTube videos to have a better understanding
Yeah.
of
And it's cool how
everything.
much access we have to information. I know obviously it comes with downsides, all the stuff at us,
Yeah,
but it is pretty amazing. You can, if you want to deep dive into any topic,
anything.
you're able to.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Any specifics you'd recommend? I know you mentioned some earlier.
as in people to
Hmm.
watch, I would say,
Probably
yeah,
that Joe Rogan episode too, right?
yeah, you should watch it.
What's his name again?
Wes Huff,
Wes Huff.
yeah, Wes Huff. I'll say Cliff and Stuart Connectly. I would say Ruslan KD. I would say Johnny Chang. I would say Bryce Crawford's good. He's younger than us. And he's going crazy. He's killing it. But yeah, there's a ton of different people, man. And the good thing about it is, you know, some of them may be like Protestant, some of them may be Catholic, but when it all boils down to like the denominations don't matter. They all have in common
These values.
their faith in Christ.
Hmm.
And so no matter whichever one you watch, it doesn't really matter. They're all great.
That just gave me a thought too that would be interesting. I think, would you ever be open, or is this in your goal at all, of doing some style where you actually go in public and you talk about these things and you have people ask questions? And
Yeah.
that would be really interesting. And oh wow, speaking of just talking to me, you're already going to be better the next time someone brings up morality, let alone you have random strangers asking you, like,
Yeah.
how quickly you would be able to formulate your thoughts and ideas and arguments in a way that makes sense, That would be really powerful. I don't know what that'd look like, but
Yeah, that's actually what I was talking to my buddy last night. I don't think I would ever want to like start a church and be a lead pastor and all that, but I would like to do something. Maybe it's like get together with people in Nashville that have questions. We can all come together in like a non-judgmental space. My church actually does this a couple times a year, um, where people can ask questions and I can do my best to answer them and things like that. Also, just social media stuff.
well, it's a fantastic thing. And I think a lot of people struggle to find a sense of community. And sometimes, people go down dark places where you're in a bar every night and that's your community.
Mhm.
And it's not necessarily the best thing. And I mean, it's hard we have all these phones and we have more access to information. And then at the same time, people often feel really, really lonely.
Ironic.
It is.
It's not though. It is, but it's not. It's like obviously.
It's,
It's
yeah.
like duh. Of course you feel lonely and anxious and stressed and
And you only see
depressed.
the highlights and you see so and so with all their friends and
Yeah,
so and so's in Europe and so's doing this. When
yeah. It's because you're putting your identity in like social media and money and the comparison the game. I mean, comparison is the thief of joy.
hmm And I think what's so I guess sinister about it though is people obviously don't people don't want to be miserable for the most part, but we tend to gravitate towards activities and decisions and thoughts that do lead to us feeling unsatisfied, and that's pretty interesting to me.
It's because the activities that lead to us feeling like that nowadays are completely normalized. That's
Mm.
the issue. Like watching porn is normalized. There's nothing normal about watching two strangers have sex. There's nothing
Yeah, that's
normal
a
about
really
that.
good point. I've
But
never covered that on a podcast, but yeah, that's
it's
a
so normalized. It's
well.
like
Well,
it's
sometimes you
everywhere.
like it pops up. You're not even,
It's
like
literally everywhere. And it's like
I've had poor kids in interviews be like, I was on my iPad and then something popped up and they're like, I didn't know what it was. And I swiped
yeah,
away. I'm like, that's
yeah,
so bad. Like this 7-year-old kid's watching YouTube
yeah,
and something popped up that he like felt so bad he had to.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
And stuff like that is normalized and then guys get hooked on it. It's like when
And then you
you
meet a
feel
girl and you don't know
lonely.
what to do,
Yeah, you're
or
lonely
you
and then
or you view girls in a way that's
yes,
not
you can't
compatible.
communicate with a girl. You have improper expectations and yeah, it's bad what culture and society normalizes.
Do you think? I mean, the best explanation I can find, and that we've already touched on, is because we're wired for these more immediate pleasures, and it just happens to be more accessible with everything now, and that's just why it's become such a thing. But it is, yeah, it's wild. I gotta. I'll send you that exact quote if I can find it from Mastery. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
It was like peak selfishness is just giving into your immediate pleasures.
I was about to say that. Yeah, I mean it really is the peak of it because it's like all I care about is how I
Me
feel
right
right now,
now, yeah.
and I don't care if it's like I sleep with this girl and I mess with her emotions. I don't care because I feel good now.
Yeah, it's so see, it's so crazy when you put it like that, but then I think it goes back to the dissonance and people just rationalize things because you have to.
Yeah, I mean, just to be very clear, like I mess up all the time. Like I justify stuff all the time that I know I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like everyone does
I'm glad
this.
you're clarifying that because
Yeah,
same. I don't think we're coming across as like we're so perfect. You should be like us,
yeah,
but everything we've talked about. I'm
yeah,
like, yes, this
yeah. That's
I've also experienced
yes.
this.
Everyone, in my mind, everyone sins. Everyone's a hypocrite. There's no way of getting out of that. That's
Yeah,
just done. You are.
it is.
It is.
It exists.
Yes. And I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, you were saying, you're like I'm also not
Oh
perfect.
yes, going back to what I was saying, like the whole point of Christianity is like I'm imperfect. I was born imperfect. We are all imperfect. Therefore, I need something perfect in order to
Mm.
come and save me from the damnation that I deserve because all I do is sin, even though I know I shouldn't be. But when you look at it from that perspective, it's a lot easier to come from a place of love to someone who is sinning or doing something they shouldn't be doing, because again, you're sympathizing with them, like, hey, I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's work on this together. Like, I'm not judging you. I've done that in the past, and vice versa. So just when you come at it from a place of, I just want the best for you, that's when I think it can do the most help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what, I mean, love a more intense form, but when you genuinely want the best for someone and you'll sacrifice yourself for that person.
Mm-hmm. And that is,
which goes back to Jesus dying on the cross.
I was about to say that. You took the words out of my mouth.
Look at you. I got you, Austin.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, that's an amount of love that us humans, we can't even comprehend. Like, it doesn't even make sense to us. It's like, why would anyone do that? It just seems reckless. There's actually a song called Reckless Love. It's amazing. It's very popular. It was a few years ago. I guess, like, we can't even comprehend that.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way that's good, but also in a way, because we can't comprehend it, it's difficult for us to be loving towards others.
Well, I think we've covered a lot. You want to end on what would be your favorite scripture?
What topic do you want? Actually, no. Let's do, this is actually how I'm ending my podcast.
Please. Well, is there anything else you want to cover before?
No, I don't think so. Unless there is for you.
How long do you think we've been talking?
At least an hour and a half.
2.5 hours.
No way.
I swear to God. I swear to God,
that's
appropriate.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
it goes
crazy.
by so.
Yeah.
That's what it's blown my mind doing this.
Yeah.
And this was an extra stimulating discussion.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's end it. I would love to hear it.
I would say Romans 5, verse 3 through 4. Paul's writing to the people in Rome and the church, and they're just being persecuted a lot. And he writes to them that we are to glory and rejoice in our sufferings, because suffering creates perseverance, character, and character, hope.
That's a really good one. We're ending it like that. Austin, thanks for coming on, brother.
Of course.
Absolute pleasure.